ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I am one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on today's episode, we got quite the news docket for you. A good set of news stories. No trailer talk this week. The news streaming is going to be maybe the lightest week ever. I'm not really keeping track, but it's definitely up there. Yeah. We'll get to what we're watching, of course, and then our main review for the episode is Justice League and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Is that the official title?
I think it's Justice League Part 2.
Zack Snyder cut.
Electric Boogaloo.
Zack Snyder cut.
Rob Schneider.
But before we get to any of that, I'm joined today by the 4-hour watcher, Nathaniel Gingrich.
Hello.
How are you doing, sir? How was your 4 hours of this viewing experience?
Long. Very long. It was very late at night for Tyler and I. We didn't get started till about 9 o'clock. So
yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Did it all
we did. Yeah, we sat through it.
We tried to make it an event and everything. I had snacks and shit. It was great. It was awesome. Yeah. But yeah, man, it was I felt like we'll talk about this a lot, but I almost felt like I was back in film school, and it was almost like this one of those experimental films that you're watching, the dawn of cinema thing where they were trying to create cinema as a new universal language. So it's just 8 hours of a film street or a street or something like that, trying to convey all these crazy ideas. It almost felt like that again in some ways. Right. So I had to approach it in a very scholarly manner, obviously.
Mm-hmm. I had to watch it in about 3 sittings.
Wow.
Just as Zack Snyder intended.
Yeah. I watched about 50 minutes of it, fell asleep, went to bed, woke up the next day, watched 3 hours of it, fell asleep, and then had to watch it the last hour of it or whatever it was.
That's crazy, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a psychopath.
No, you gotta do it in one shot.
When I watch it, when I start a movie that I have not seen before,
100%.
I cannot turn it off.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I've never left the movie.
Nah.
Never will.
Nah.
If I go to the theater, I won't leave or anything like that.
Just nah.
It goes against every fiber of my being.
Yeah, I can't get out.
I'm actually.
I avoid doing it at all costs, but this one just did not allow me to power through.
Yeah, I'm with you, Adam. I mean, I'm between both you guys. I did it in 2 sittings though, so I watched the first hour and some change, in the morning before I logged on for work, and then after I finished the last 3 hours or whatever it was. Afterwards,
it's the most 2021 sentence of all time.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's long, but
yeah.
Oh well.
Also joining me today is the future face of Twitch, Tyler Vidalis. How are you doing, sir?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing good. How are your Pokemon cards? Are you gonna do an unboxing on stream?
I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. Part of me wants to because you guys brought it up, and part of me honestly just doesn't really care because they're my cards.
I want Yu-Gi-Oh cards to come back. I always like the art better on Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
They'll never come back.
I was a Yu-Gi-Oh kid.
It's just not as big.
I'm not saying that. I missed the art. I liked the art on the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I like the design better on Yu-Gi-Oh, I think. But that being said, Pokemon's iconic for.
I could agree to an extent. Some of the art that they're pulling now is out of this world.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy to see how cards in general have evolved. I remember when Brett and Rob got really into buying sports memorabilia cards.
Right.
And they were doing polls, man. I remember we were sitting on the couch and we were watching cards being pulled for an hour and a half with Brett and Rob.
Before we went and saw Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was, it's crazy, man.
Have you guys ever gotten into Magic at all?
No. I'm not a nerd.
That one I got into for a while. It's
Just
really
kidding.
fun, man.
I played D&D.
It's really good. Yeah, D&D's great. Ty, are you excited for the new Pokemon games coming out?
Yeah, I am. I don't know. I don't know, cause I dug out my DS the other day and put Pokemon back on, and the last game I honestly played for 3 hours and gave up on it. And I don't know if that's just because I was in a time of my life where I was just working really hard, or I don't remember what was going on.
This is the last game you played, not the last game that came out. You haven't played Sword or Shield.
No. Yeah. What was, I think, X and Y maybe?
Okay.
Something like that, or Sun and Moon.
Or Sun and Moon. Yeah.
Sun and Moon.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I've been contemplating on whether or not I want to get a Switch. Maybe this will do it. Maybe I'll just get a Switch Lite and just say fuck it, just use like a DS.
Rumors have it that there is going to be a souped up Switch coming out sometime in the near future because
souped up.
Yeah, but they've been saying that for years.
Yes, but I mean, I think it's more plausible now that PS5 and Xbox.
What are they
going to
do with it?
Come out. Add some more horsepower, better battery, all that stuff.
Bigger screen, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like Nintendo
you
doesn't really
carry around your laptop.
Nintendo
part of it that's just small.
Yeah, Nintendo doesn't really do like pro versions or something like that.
I don't know. Throw it at me. See, maybe. I don't care. I love video games. I love everything that has to do with video games.
I wish you'd play Switch. I love Switch.
Yeah.
Switch is great. Also joining us today is the spring superstar BlakeHolder. How you doing, sir?
What up, man? I'm good. How are you, bro?
Doing all right.
Yeah.
Quite all right. Yet another busy week, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I hear you, man. Well, I was telling these guys, at least we got some nice weather, so I mean that just makes
Nice weather's back down
so
here.
Nice out, bro.
We had about a week worth of rain and overcast and in the 40s, and we're finally back out into the sunshine. So I'm very happy.
I'm with you, man.
How is it down there at the Mizzou office?
The Mizzou office, it's lonely, of course, because I'm the only one here. And this entire office building, it's just me.
It is. It's similar to that scene in Wonder Woman 84 where you're just the.
Yes, it is. I have the one receptionist up front.
Yeah.
And she's taking all my calls, but unfortunately, I don't have a magic wishing stone or whatever the hell that movie's plot was. To get some more employees, but
Nobody
we're
knows
chilling
what the
here.
plot was, Adam? Don't even worry about it.
Yeah. Was there a plot to that movie? I don't know. But yeah, man, things are good down here. I was telling you guys before the podcast, but more and more people are getting vaccinated. I'm hoping to get mine soon.
Yeah. Good to hear, man.
Leah just got done with her second shot.
Really?
Hey.
Yeah.
How'd she feel?
Like shit.
Yeah, she had a bad one.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're all pretty bad. I guess in her case, it was actually relatively good because she was not feeling well the night she got it.
The second shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And from like word of mouth or whoever, like whatever other studies they're doing out there, apparently people have been getting sick for like 36 hours. And they've been getting like sick.
Yeah.
She was very uncomfortable. She couldn't stop shaking. She was like hot but like cold, and I felt so bad because I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, right.
And
do you know which vaccine she got?
Which ones are there?
There's Moderna, Pfizer.
I think she got Moderna.
Moderna.
Okay. Yeah, which I think is supposed to be the harder of the two, or three, however many there are now.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah,
they're all pretty effective.
So yeah, she's feeling fine now. She felt fine yesterday too,
well,
but
good.
like the night of, she was like.
Sure.
In trouble, and I was like, "Oh my god, I feel so bad."
Well, good for her, man.
Yeah. I mean, well, she's in a hospital all the time, so.
I did say she's in the Medicare. Yeah. So yeah, I got a buddy who's in the healthcare field, so he got vaccinated too. So yeah, I mean, he said he felt okay, but obviously, I mean, it's different from case by case basis. You know what I mean?
My mom had symptoms for about 10, 12 hours too.
Okay.
It seems to be on the second shot.
For sure.
Yeah, it's only on the second shot from what I've been hearing. All four of my parents have gotten it. So yeah.
The vaccine or COVID?
The vaccine.
Okay.
Yeah. So my mom was pretty beat up for a couple of days.
Yeah.
My dad was beat up for a couple of days. I think my stepmom was beat up for a couple of days.
Right.
I think my stepdad was fine.
If that's the price to pay to get back to normal, I'll pay it.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
So what's in the news?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Nathaniel. I'm very glad you asked. We got the Venom sequel moves back 3 months to September. So
which is
Venom. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say which has the worst title I've ever heard.
What's the title?
Yeah, Venom. Let There Be Carnage.
That's fucking terrible.
Carnage here being the Woody Harrelson serial killer.
Yeah,
it'll be cool to see Carnage on film, though.
Yeah, I like Woody Harrelson. I hope they don't give him that weird carrot top wig that was in the last one. That movie is insane. We should do that movie on pod because there's another one that is just like batshit for 45 minutes and then the most boring. No, it's the most boring movie in the world for the first 45 minutes, then batshit insane for the last 45 minutes.
Yep.
Which one are you talking about?
Venom.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it, to be honest.
Well, there it is. It's 45 minutes of the most boring movie in the world and batshit for the last 45.
Okay. All right. So what was originally slated for June 25th is now being released on September 17th.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that's being pushed back from its original October 2020 release date. So this film apparently has been done for a while.
Yeah, that hasn't boded well for a couple other films that have to keep getting pushed back. I
still
genuinely
waiting on
think it
Black
hurts.
Widow.
Because I think the jokes get stale really quickly, and I think also you have to do the second round of marketing for stuff, and people just find out more, and the hype has to get back up, and I don't think it works for most stuff.
I can see that.
Well, what does work is streaming when the box offices are closed, and according to the latest numbers, box office in the U.S. fell 80% in 2020 as the streaming boomed. So streaming subscriptions rose from, let me see.
Low to high.
Yeah, from rather low to rather high, as you can imagine. Subscribers of online services crossed 1 billion, and then topped out at 1.1, and it was a 26% gain over 2019.
Yeah, I heard just today or something they're predicting that Disney's going to overtake Netflix for most subscriptions within the year, I think.
What were we just talking about that?
Surprised.
We might have been. It might have been before Pod or something like that last week, or it might have even been on Pod.
Yeah.
It was on Pod.
Was it?
Yeah, because we were talking about how
Netflix is
they're doing the verifying thing.
Yeah, and Netflix has kind of been shit in the bed recently.
Yeah.
I don't turn on Netflix to watch fucking anything, dude.
I turned it on today and I was like, oh, I wonder if there's got to be some new horror movie on there or something like that, and just nothing. Like, it's the same category of horror. The horror movie categories currently on all the streaming services are woeful at the moment. There's there's so many good stuff, and I don't know who has the rights to them that are just aren't being produced right now. Makes me sad. Anyways, back on topic.
Yeah, I just want to talk about. I mean, we've covered, since we started this podcast, we've covered the box office and everything and how it's been struggling a little bit. But
sure,
I'm interested to see where this newfound surge in subscriptions compared to a downtrodden box office, where that leads us in the future, because we still don't know what a recovered Hollywood box office looks like going forward. So just really interesting to see that so many more subscriptions have come in. Obviously, you kind of expect that to happen. But I'm very curious to see what that does for the future of streaming, of movies, of everything, basically.
Yeah, I think like I said, I think I said a couple of weeks back, a couple of the people I follow on Twitter in the industry, their kind of predictions are that streaming services will move into the theater business, so you'll have some things like an Alamo Drafthouse or the ArcLight cinemas, so you'll have kind of those higher end theaters that you can drink at or get food at or something like that,
like an iPix.
Yeah, and it'll be more like a kind of an event thing.
Sure.
And then the other thing that they're kind of predicting too there'll be a Netflix theater, or there'll be a Disney theater or something like that will have more.
You can go there and watch their specific content.
Yeah, well, the Disney will obviously have Marvel, Star Wars, all that kind of stuff, or a Netflix will have everything on there, and that's kind of how they can circumvent the Oscar bit sometimes, and B also people will pay more to go to those things on top of already having a streaming service or something.
I could definitely see someone like AMC or Regal or Cinemark, whatever you want. I could definitely see them pairing with a Disney, Netflix or something like that,
right,
just to kind of merge them. That way Disney doesn't have to worry about running these retail theaters. It's more, they've already got it taken care of. I could honestly see someone with the amount of money that Disney has buying out AMC or something like that, depending. I mean, I don't know what that price would be, but
AMC's got all the money right now, man. Their stocks at an all-time high.
Yeah, they benefited from that shortage, of course, but yeah, we'll see. I am very interested to see what happens. Hopefully, it's just all for the benefit of the viewer.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'll be very, very sad if movies go away. I don't think they ever will completely.
Oh yeah, I don't think so.
It'll be, it's just another reminder. Film is just so young as a medium, and it's just ever changing all the time.
Yeah.
Wild.
All right. Well, for our next news story, Joe Exotic documentary for BBC in the works from Louis Theroux.
Cool. I love Louis.
Yeah.
Is
So
that the
Louis
guy
Theroux
with
is
the
revisiting
the tigers?
Yeah.
Joe Exotic?
revisiting Joe Exotic's little pet land over there in Oklahoma.
Yeah, he did an original documentary on him. I want to say that was back in the 90s, or maybe it was the early thousands.
It was early 2000s. It doesn't give me the date. Or sorry, 2011. It was a 2011 for a film called America's Most Dangerous Pets.
Okay. Wow, I didn't realize it was that recent.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Louis Theroux? Like I told you to. We've talked about this on
No,
Pod
I
before,
never did. I never, because they're on the British Netflix, but I don't have a VPN
Oh,
or
that's
anything
right.
to go change it. So I really haven't had access to it. But I would love to sometime.
I think
'cause,
some of his old stuff might be on YouTube or something like that.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'll look around for it. But yeah, we started this right after the Joe Exotic craze.
That's true. Yeah. Because
so we haven't
I think this
talked
is the
about
1 year
Tiger King that much.
anniversary of Tiger King is like this week or something like that, right?
It's got to
Something
be.
like that. It came out right at the beginning of the quarantine. Hit at a perfect time for that to catch some buzz. But
Yeah.
I'm honestly,
Go ahead.
I'm kind of Joe Exotic'd out. Like I don't know if I really need this. I'll be interested to see as someone like an experienced documentarian like Louis Theroux what he'll have to do with it, or what he will do with it.
I think his Scientology movie is on HBO Max. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
You should definitely check that out. Yeah, I'm really interested in that as well. Go ahead. Continue your thought.
Yeah, no, I was just saying. I mean, he's a well-known, experienced documentarian, so I'll be interested to see what kind of stuff he goes back and does because he's already visited Joe Exotic once. So, be interested to see. And he's also in prison, isn't he? He's still in jail, I think.
Joe Exotic, not Louis Theroux.
Joe Exotic, not Louis Theroux. Yes, all right. Maybe you should have clarified that. But yeah, Joe Exotic, I believe, is still in prison.
Yeah,
so.
and I think he's pretty upset that Trump didn't pardon him last time.
Yeah, yeah, he was vying for a pardon.
I think I remember seeing that
yeah.
online. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember the original episode as well, and I remember after when Tiger King came out, that kind of being that being my main memory of it. But yeah, I'll be really interested to see what Louis does on that kind of stuff. He's kind of been doing on more a career retrospective a lot recently too, because he is getting a little bit older. So it might be interesting to kind of hear his thoughts on that as well. If anyone is interested in it, Louis Theroux, really do think he's one of the best documentarians alive. The way he gets people to reveal information and kind of talk about themselves is really, really cool. So check him out for sure.
He has a quote in the story that can kind of give some context to what he's thinking with this series. He says, "This is one of the most quintessentially American stories taking place in the heartland of Oklahoma, with a cast of characters almost too colorful and larger than life to be believed," said Theroux. "I spent 8 or 9 days filming at the park back in 2011 over the course of 3 separate visits. I'd forgotten how much we shot until I went back into the footage during lockdown. It's extraordinary how much was there. Since then, the story just got stranger and bigger, and in going back at the end of last year, I uncovered a real-life drama that took me in directions I could have never expected."
Sounds interesting. Sounds like he might have found some stuff.
We'll see. Sounds like he'll be using some of that footage back from 2011.
Yeah, for sure, I would
some
say.
the older stuff. So we'll be on the lookout for that, and we'll also be on the lookout for all 6 Game of Thrones spinoffs that are now.
Is that how many they're going
announced.
up to?
There are currently 6 Game of Thrones spinoffs being worked on at HBO.
Holy crap! Okay, bets. How many do you think actually see the light of day? 3. I say 2.
I think 3 is a safe bet. Looking at which 6 are announced and the descriptions of them, because there is the House of the Dragon. That's the one with Matt Smith. That's going to be kind of the direct. That's the original prequel that they're going with.
Wasn't there one that got like restarted? Like they filmed the pilot and they like shelved it or something like that.
They did film a pilot for a prequel series already that got scrapped. I don't know if any of these are.
That was the name of Naomi
stories.
Watts one, I want to say.
I can see if she's mentioned in this story.
No, don't worry about it. I'm just talking out loud.
Talking nonsense.
Yeah, thinking out loud.
Anyway, so there's House of the Dragon, Dunk and Egg, which we talked about before, is based on 3 short stories.
Okay.
Nymeria, it's just called the Nymeria Project right now, but that's based on the person who went and founded Dorne in House Martell.
Right, and Arya or one of them names one of the direwolves.
Yeah,
after it, right?
Arya names her direwolf after her, as well as there's some sword that's named after her in the show.
Okay.
And then there's the sea snake, which is going to be the this is from the creator of Rome, that HBO series that I think had about 2 seasons. I haven't seen it, but I've heard pretty good things. And this is going to be on Valerian, Corlys Valerian, aka the Sea Snake. So he's more of a seafaring character, apparently.
All right.
There's Flea Bottom, which, if you know the show, is the place in King's Landing where people like Gendry and Davos Seaworth, they originated from. So it's kind of like a slum of King's Landing, essentially. And then there's an animated series that's yet to be titled or anything like that, but apparently that's confirmed to be in the works.
All right. With all of those announced and all of the things that you know are coming out, do you have any interest in any of those?
Maybe 1 or 2. I don't. For me, the juice is not worth the squeeze on these.
Right. It almost feels like they're trying to do like a WandaVision, a Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and all this kind of stuff, but they just don't have that many characters, and so they're like, but there's not that many characters with like that aren't part of that main story.
Yeah. And I mean, there's so much more behind comic books, and there's
it's just bigger.
They have a lot more to pull from.
Yeah,
right. And you have Marvel.
They already burned through a majority of the Game of Thrones lore.
Right. I mean, you're talking about a TV show versus movies
versus a world. Yeah.
Well, right. Yeah. Well, that too. But I mean, just like if you're just basing off of like what people have kind of already consumed or what the average person consumes, you're looking at like the Avengers movies versus an entire TV show.
Probably the same amount of hours.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't watch, or I did not watch Game of Thrones, but there's dragons in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Right?
There's dragons and magic and all sorts of stuff.
Right. And from what kind of some of the stuff I've read is that their dragons are they're noted to be more of the, I guess they're not real, but realistic, quote unquote, right? Like a really good portrayal of dragons in film.
They're like a traditional dragon that you would think of.
Yeah.
They don't talk or anything like Smaug. They just breathe fire and fly, and they have scales and stuff.
Right, Adam. Do you guys think any of those spin-offs would be like something maybe, and that'd be the center point?
Yes.
Okay.
Almost exclusively, because the main like villains in the show or the former house and everything is like were the people that could fly on dragons. And so they used to be the kings and everything like that.
Right.
And I think that's what one of the shows is basically a prequel of. So
okay, sure.
There'll be
that's the House of the Dragon is featuring,
which is the original
100 years before the original Game of Thrones.
You might have to put subtitles on this, fellas.
Yeah, I mean, to your original question, Nathaniel, I think looking at the 6 of these, I definitely think House of Dragon and Duncan Egg are most likely to get through. Nymeria the Nymeria Project, the Sea Snake, and Flea Bottom, those all seem like kind of stretches to me. That I will see how far along they get or if they ever come out. And that Game of Thrones animated series, I think, could be interesting if they want to throw some money at that and see. And I think it also has a decent chance of getting through to be where we actually see it. But I'm not like holding out for an animated series.
Yeah, I think the animated series is the one that we see the least of. It's least likely to happen in my mind.
Out of all of them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it just goes back to from a money standpoint, like a business standpoint. There's no money in an animated series that's based off of an entire.
I disagree,
world.
Man. I think the animated series is infinitely cheaper and has a much higher thing because you can do anything.
Yeah, but I don't then start it that way. I don't want to watch an animated Game of Thrones series after there's already been live action stuff.
I think because
hang on. So you can't watch Clone Wars?
No, you can. I think it's just. I'm just saying me personally. I'm just saying me personally.
Okay, but
plus you're also
watched the original Star Wars, and then they had Clone Wars, which is an animated version.
Right, but again, you're going back to like movies versus TV shows. I've seen an entire TV show
Okay, I kind of see. I can see your point there.
Okay.
8 seasons of these real characters, and then you're just gonna throw an animated series at me.
I think if I'm HBO, that's the one that I take the pun on and do something like more stylistic, maybe something very distinctive, and like that. Maybe that's where you go like more sorcery, like crazy magic or something like that.
Because that's the thing. I think the biggest point that you said is the production cost would be way lower, especially when you look at a series like if you watched the making of season 8 of Game of Thrones, like the level of production and the level
it's wild.
Set design and all that stuff. Yeah, it's crazy. And so if they're trying to do 5 other live action shows, or even if only 2 of them get through, having an animated series that they can kind of bank on as being at least good and has maybe some stylistic choices like Nathaniel said, and that you can get people to at least go watch. I think that's more of a shoe-in kind of guaranteed kind of thing to go on.
Yeah,
to
I
happen.
think you're right.
Or hear me out.
Okay.
Since we're, an HBO thing, right? We get Zack Snyder to reshoot the last season.
He just becomes Mr. Fix-It.
And we just go from there.
All right. That'd be interesting. Funded by
that just becomes
HBO
Zack
Max.
Snyder's career is fixing bad.
HBO Max and Vero.
All right. Well,
is that it for news?
Game of Thrones. Yeah, it's enough Game of Thrones talk and enough news talk.
Alrighty.
Unfortunately, there's no trailer talk.
Son of a Stop delaying
Unless
things.
you guys
Start
saw
giving
some
me
trailer
trailers
that I was not aware of.
I saw something for a movie called The Unholy. YouTube kept showing up with that. Looks really dumb. Looks real bad. Looks like one of those
horror movie. It's gotta be a horror movie.
Yeah. It looks like one of those like
looks really dumb.
one of those like mid-thousands like PG-13 kind of like knockoff, but like after like The Last Exorcism. Like, do you remember like Haunting in Georgia or Haunting in Connecticut? All of those ones. It looks like one of those.
Those movies suck.
Yeah, they're not good, but I'll watch them anyways too. There's something about them I like. I like that story, and it's got Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who I like.
Okay,
and is good in things.
Oh, is that the guy? That's Negan, right?
Yes, yeah. I also saw another one called like The Vigil. We might have talked about this on pod.
I saw the trailer of that.
That looks good.
Looks good.
Yeah,
is it out?
I think it's like available to rent or something like that on one of those. But yeah, that looks awesome.
That's something I might even rent myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think I actually read some reviews on that. I think they're saying it's
I got into a sick horror movie today, but I'll talk about it on what we're watching.
Sure.
Well, we won't be. We're not too far away from what we're watching.
You won't be in suspense
streaming.
long.
The new streaming is only 2 movies long. To Netflix, you got Seaspiracy, which is a documentary on a filmmaker setting out to find out what harm humans do to the ocean. I partly included this because I saw a TikTok where the guy made fun of it. He was like, "You guys are so close," because all you had to do was conspiracy, but instead it is Seaspiracy. So maybe check that out if you want.
That's poorly named.
Yeah, you're so close. Once I heard that, I was like, yeah, that's funny as hell. I honestly might check this out. I mean, I'm interested in kind of environmental stuff and documentaries.
Sounds like it'll make me sad.
I mean, there's not much else to watch this week, Nathaniel.
True.
So, Hulu, HBO Max, Amazon Prime, all got nada for you. But Disney Plus has Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 2.
We have not watched this yet, and it's breaking my heart.
Neither have I. I've been wanting to. It's just weird timing for the Friday shows, like with WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, because it's like Friday. We should do this to Friday, Saturday. Sometimes I have time to watch it. Sometimes I don't.
Right.
And then Sunday, I gotta study and then watch the pod movie. So, it's just odd timing.
The reason it got pushed to the wayside is because of Zack Snyder.
Yeah, we were definitely. It was a once in a lifetime event, really.
Yeah.
If anything, you know, I will always
I'm
remember
happy
where
to
I
live through
was
it.
for the Snyder cut.
I really don't think I would have wanted to do it on like Friday.
No, you have to do it on the day.
I wanted to do it on the
Yeah.
All right, same page.
Obviously.
All right, well, that's it for the new to streaming. We can get into what we're watching. Blake, have you watched anything this week? Do you want to lead us off this week? So last week you were
sure,
I was hyping you up to start off what we're watching, and then you're like, well, I haven't watched much.
Fair. Yeah, I'll go. So I got to a few things this week. Obviously, Justice League 2017 and Snyder Cut. That took a ton of time. I did watch Train to Busan.
Nice.
Yeah, which I think you watched that last week. Or, did you watch it with him?
I caught a little bit of it with him, but I've seen it prior to him watching it. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is that your first time?
It was, and I've always known what it was. Probably the past few years since it's been out. And I sat down and watched it the other day, and that's good.
It is good, right?
I'm glad.
That's one of the better zombie adaptations.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. Just like how they build characters on there so quick with just like none of it's like
just
expository dialogue. Everything, every choice that you see informs on each other. Yeah, there's like so many little stories going on in the background too that you're like.
I hated that
that guy,
the other business guy.
Yeah, oh man,
my god,
he's the worst.
I hated that guy so much.
Yeah, it's really good at making you feel, and the dad too, or with the pregnant wife.
Oh yeah, he's
the best.
Yeah, it was right. Yeah, man.
The Kung Fu guy.
Yeah,
dude, he's great.
Just some brawler.
Yeah, dude, just like a beast of a man.
So yeah, that was good, man. I watched that. Then I watched a handful of nature docs. Like I said, I watched something pretty interesting doc. It was about like 40 minutes on the difference between crows and ravens.
That's crazy.
I like ravens.
Dogs.
Yeah, man.
I like docs too.
I like the poem, The Raven.
The Raven poem is a great poem.
That's from
a great poem.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah. Watch that. What else did I get to? Did I watch your next? Was that last week? Did I bring that up?
No. Did you get to your next?
Okay, then maybe I watched that this week. Then
okay.
Yeah. If I didn't say it last week, then I definitely watched that this week. I did watch your next.
I love that movie.
Nice.
And that's the second time I've seen that. That still holds up really well.
Good. I've been considering going back to that one as well.
Yeah. That one's good. A little bit more in depth than what I thought it was. Because I haven't seen it in a long time. Because that came out probably like 2011, 10.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
You know?
I was still in college.
Yeah, and I haven't seen that in easily close to that time frame.
2012 maybe.
Yeah.
Did you see Ready or Not?
I have. I watched that for the first time.
Very similar vibes, those two movies.
I was going to say that, yeah. I watched Ready or Not for the first time. That was maybe this summer.
Okay.
Or so.
Yeah.
I think I like this a little bit more. It's a little bit more traditional.
Yeah, yeah. You know I think it's it takes itself a little bit more seriously.
But Ready or Not's dope too.
Yeah, I like both those.
Yeah, man. That's kind of what I've got. I'd recommend those around. Then obviously, this movie just took a huge chunk.
Yeah. It's a commitment for sure.
So yeah, that's all I got to. What about you guys?
Ty, you want to go?
You go. It's gonna probably hopefully spark some stuff because
we definitely went in
terrible at remembering.
We definitely went more in on Initial D.
We did, yeah. We actually did that last night because it was the first night that Leah and I had not spent together since November. And I was kind of losing my mind, but we just watched some Initial D, and it was actually really great.
So I kind of started my week off actually going through the main Snyderverse storyline. So I did Man of Steel, and then
I was close to doing that, dude, but I didn't. I was like, that's a huge commitment. I didn't want to sign up for it.
I wanted to get into the headspace. I wanted to see the progression from Man of Steel to Justice League, and and I committed myself to that. So. Watched Man of Steel, and then I think we did Man of Steel. Then we did Justice League 2017 that night, and then the next day was Thursday, and I did Dawn of Justice in the morning, and then we did Snyder Cut that night.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're a good man.
I feel like my brain was in a blender by the end of it.
What'd you think of Man of Steel? Because I actually watched.
That was the first time I had seen it since theaters.
Really?
Really?
And I remember. So Man of Steel was my introduction to Superman. Really, I had always been aware of him. Sure. But I'd never seen the Christopher Reeves version. I've seen them now.
Right. For sure.
And I never read him as a comic book. when I was younger and the animated series was on, I always watched Batman. I never watched the Superman stuff.
For sure.
So his character in Man of Steel and kind of like that tone and everything, I think I was kind of like the ideal candidate for that, and that I was kind of like approaching it blind in a lot of ways. And I really enjoyed all of that. Well, then kind of like come to find out afterwards that's not the traditional characterization of Superman and everything like that. He's generally much more kind of positive character. But it's the best looking out of all three of these movies easily.
Is Snyder the director on that too?
Yes, he is. The story to me, it has Christopher Nolan as a story writing credit. It seems much more Christopher Nolan than the latter two of these films. And it also seems like almost every poor storytelling choice is a lot of times based off of what kind of like Snyder was envisioning. But it's still a movie that's like it's like 85% right, but the 15% it gets wrong. It gets like really wrong.
The action in that movie is fucking dope, though.
That is true. That I
watched
love
some of the scenes on YouTube.
I love the Zod and Superman punch up. The fight in Smallville is actually my favorite fight.
What's the name of the lady? I can't think of her name.
Feyora?
Yes.
Yeah, she's great. The fight in Smallville is my favorite fight of the movie.
Oh, dude, you can see just like the fucking destruction.
Yes, yeah.
Like, I'm like deep there,
which is so great because there's so many other movies that are out there that don't show that, and we're talking about like literal like gods.
They're Kryptonians,
right?
You know what I mean? It's like
you know what I mean?
Their power behind punches and everything. People just like fucking
ridiculous.
Fly through buildings.
Yes.
And
crazy.
Like, yeah.
I agree. It's just there's something about some of those choices, particularly like Pa Kent and Jor-El. Both are like really wishy-washy and going both ways. None of it really makes sense, and the final act is just still it's overindulgent and weird. But yeah, so that was those guys. I'll probably talk more about that kind of later for sure, obviously. But needless to say, I think out of all four of them, Man of Steel might still be my favorite one out of it. It might be the most interesting
solid, man.
to me.
It's solid.
It's certainly from just like a shot standpoint too. I think it just yeah. We'll talk about it more later. My brother was over on Friday night, so he and I actually watched Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which was his first time watching that movie.
Oh, that was his first time?
Like it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I think he enjoyed it. He's definitely not as much of like a video game person, so I think some of the references he didn't quite get and everything like that. But that's still just such a great movie. Edgar Wright's really Edgar Wright is underrated in some ways as far as Edgar Wright can be. I think he should be more famous. More people should look up to him.
Yeah, he does that film particularly really, really well.
Yes. Yeah, I think so too. Did you ever read any of it?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in theaters the first time. It's actually not a good experience for this because I wasn't feeling well. But I went and saw it again the day after.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because, like, with our group, like Justin Foley and all that, like, we literally would go to the movies as a group.
Sure.
All the time.
Yeah.
On release night, like, all that stuff. We'd meet in, like, the parking lot. We'd sit out in the parking lot for hours before the movie. We would just have a blast.
Sure.
So, yeah, I like, that night was bad. And so, like, I'm not going to sit here and listen to you guys all watch the movie. I didn't honestly get through the movie. It was bad.
Just what we were just talking about, not walking out of movies.
What movies?
I didn't walk out.
Oh, you just didn't.
I was knocked out. I was not feeling well.
What movie is this again?
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Oh, I haven't seen this.
Never seen it. You should watch it. It's fun.
It is good. Yeah, it's really fun. So yeah, then the next day I had the day off from work or whatever I was doing at that age, and I was like, I have to go see this again because they're all gonna be talking about it. So.
Adam, have you ever seen Scott Pilgrim?
Oh, I've seen it a few times, yeah. That was one I watched for the first time when I was probably in like the 7th grade, so like 13, 14, so right up my alley.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was probably
That's fun.
Good vibe for you.
Oh, yeah, it was perfect. I loved that movie the first time I watched it, because I also watched it with my friend who was very enthusiastic about it, and like just loved the one-liners, loved the jokes, like, chicken isn't vegan? Like, shit like that. Like, there are some good kind of funny, like, weird humor in there that you kind of definitely have to be in that mindset and also have that humor style, because you can show, like, my brother hates this movie.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, there are certain people that I think that humor
we beefing?
won't land with.
Here we go again.
Again? Yeah, I think there's that humor definitely doesn't land with some people, but for if it does land with you, I think it lands with you really, really well.
For sure.
Also, Chris Evans is in that movie, which is always bizarre to
he
see
is.
him in. Yeah.
He definitely is. And Brandon Routh, former Superman.
Yeah.
Mm.
The last thing I got to is the one I actually got to today, and that is Possessor. Have you seen this?
I started that.
Really?
Not last week. Might have been the week before.
Okay.
And I fell asleep, and I just didn't even bother to pick it up the next morning.
Really?
But I started on Hulu, and
Okay.
it was really interesting.
Yeah. I found it fascinating. I really enjoyed it.
I'll go finish it.
It was such a breath of fresh air after being trapped in the Snyderverse for like 2.5 days.
Sure, yeah. Because that's like they're putting like a chip in people.
Yeah,
right,
so if
weird.
it's on Hulu right now. It's made by Brandon Cronenberg, who is the son of David Cronenberg, famous kind of body horror master from the 70s, and the kind of central conceit is that this shadowy organization, it's kind of, sort of. It's kind of like Inception meets Ghost in the Shell meets like Wanted almost. So,
I could see some of that from just what I watched.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Basically, you can. It's this lady who they like say Blake works for a famous company or something like that. Blake will be taken off the street and put in the back of the van. Someone will insert a chip in his brain. I can go into this machine and then I can take over Blake's life. So then let's say I want to commit corporate espionage or something like that, I'll take over Blake's life, have him kill like 2 people and then kill himself, and now I can manipulate where that company goes or something like that. And so it's told from the perspective of like their main assassin, who is attempting to murder the son or murder the head of family of a large corporate organization that runs like a software company, but it's like a data mining company. So it's very like tech overlord, big brother watching out, but also like possession movie by the way of science fiction. It hits this really niche, cool science fiction horror kind of scratch.
Sounds bizarre.
Yeah, it's really cool though. I really enjoyed it a lot. All of the performances are really good. The violence in it is probably the most kind of like visceral I've seen since maybe like Green Room.
Yeah, I mean the opening scene, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, there's a cold open that lasts about 5 minutes that if you watch it and you can tell right away based off that if this movie's going to be for you or not.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, all really well acted, really small cast, tight, cool movie. Came out in last year, 2020. It's available on Hulu now. Yeah, I would definitely say check that one out.
Have you ever seen or did you ever watch Altered Carbon?
So I almost started. That was going to be one of my pandemic shows, but it was also I started to watch it and I was like, oh, I really have to pay attention to this, and I was
really
just like not in the mood for that. But so I know what the premise is. And kind of like similar vein.
That's kind of what the vibes. So you said like people in like Chip's head, and then like you kind of manipulate other people. And everything like that. It's pretty crazy.
It kind of gets into that like Ghost in the Shell thing where like they start to not know what is what and who is who and like how and like I can take over your life, but and make you do something that you have no control over, and kind of gets into that thing of innocent bystanders and everything.
Kind of like Your Name.
A little bit. There is a moment in there because she takes over the body of a man later on, and there is that kind of like almost Your Name like moment in there.
Is there any mitsubi?
There's definitely, I would say, there is I would say some mitsubi.
Ooh.
But yeah,
Now
definitely check it out. Dark mitsubi though.
Dark mitsubi. Uh-oh.
Nega mitsubi. But yeah, that was those were the big movies I got to this week. Other than that, we've been watching some YouTube. I like I was saying earlier, I found this channel on YouTube called Defunct Land, which is like kind of this. It started out as like history of taking down like Disneyland rides and stuff, and like things that used to be in the park, and like what the history was and why they might have gotten taken down and stuff. But it has like since grown into also like old TV shows and stuff. So like they had like a history of the Bear in the Big Blue House and everything, and like how it was made and why it like got put in certain areas and stuff. And they were talking about like what we were talking about earlier in the prior episode of like shows from our childhood and everything. So it's like interesting to go back and hear like the history of those and everything with that. So I've been checking that out on YouTube, and guess that's mainly been it. Yeah, obviously Snyder Cut took up a huge portion of time, and then we were watching something else. Or you were downtown this weekend too, so you had a couple things that came up.
Yeah, I was pretty busy. That's why I don't have anything too much to add. We did Initial D. I didn't get to any friends this week. Snyder Cut, obviously.
Yeah,
I caught some pieces of like the Man of Steel and stuff like that, but nothing like crazy. We did get into a TV show called Lennox Hill. It's about a hospital in New York that's competing with like some of the top-notch neurosurgeon hospitals out there. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's like a docu-series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Leah and I really like anything that has to do with like crime or like hospital stuff, and we both like have had the privilege to sit in on like cadaver labs and everything like that. So I've seen autopsies before, and we just both love that shit. So yeah, and I think Nathaniel said at one point he'd like to, if he would have gone a different route in his life, he'd be a coronary doctor to essentially find out like why people died.
Yep.
And basically do like the autopsy essentially.
Yeah, I was always I was very close to going down that route, and in the same way that I did cadaver labs too in college and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
but just wasn't going to be.
Yeah,
but
so yeah, that was one thing we did. God, I really can't.
Yeah, I don't think you
put
did much
my
else.
Finger on anything else.
It was just I think it was the back-to-back days of Justice League and then Snyder Cut also just ate up all of our free time.
So yeah, I did go downtown this weekend. That was pretty cool.
Okay.
Hung out with my parents, so we went to a steakhouse. It was dope.
Not bad, yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Where'd you guys eat at?
It's called Kinsey's Chop House. I had never been there.
Yeah.
I asked Joe about it because Joe obviously lives in the city,
Mm-hmm.
and I know he like obviously goes to a lot of steakhouses or has been around town. So
yeah,
he's like, oh yeah, they're pretty good. So we went there. It was good. It was good food. I got a dry aged steak. That was really, really, really good. And then garlic mashed potatoes.
How do you guys eat your steak? Let's have a
Medium rare.
Medium. I go straight medium.
Medium rare.
medium rare, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have them pretty much. I say medium, but I'll have it anyway, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know. But it maybe sounds like me trying to cover up. I eat the food. It's good.
Yeah. No, fair.
I just remember hearing one time from like, I don't know, I used to watch a lot of like cooking shows, like, so I'm pretty sure I heard like Gordon Ramsay or somebody say like medium rare is like the best way that you should eat a steak.
I don't disagree.
For sure.
And it was really funny because I used to hate steak when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah. I know, shame on me, and I'm going to tell you in confidence, everybody, I used to put ketchup on steak. Yeah.
Well, I don't eat ketchup.
When I was a kid.
So I'm a maniac for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Blake likes all dry food.
But yeah.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, it was a comfort thing. And so like if you're gonna make me eat steak, I won't put ketchup on it.
Mm.
And then now I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you can't go wrong with a good cut of steak, man.
Dude.
That shit.
When it just melts in your
top-notch.
mouth. Oh my God.
Top notch, man.
All right, we gotta change the subject.
Adam, what did you watch this week? What'd you have for class?
I'm so glad you asked, Nathaniel. I'll start it off with the movie I watch for my film class. So we watch Stories We Tell, which is a documentary from Sarah Polley. I believe it's 2012. Have you seen this before, Nathaniel?
No, but I feel like I know the name.
I don't know. I think it might have won Best Documentary at the Oscars.
Okay.
But I don't know for sure. Essentially, it is a documentary where she's retelling her family story, which is also kind of her life story, but she's retelling it through interviewing her family members and people who knew her mom who has passed. And it's kind of her trying to recreate the memory of her mom almost, but while also telling this other story that happened in her family. So it kind of does two things in that. But she does this by doing reenactments of the events that are happening, and she films it on like a 16 millimeter camera, so it has this old timey feel to it, and you can't really tell where the actual old footage is and where the remade footage is.
Sure.
So it was really interesting, and it has a lot to say, a lot of commentary on how we tell the stories of our lives, how we tell the stories of other people, and how everybody has like their own truth to a story, and one person's truth might be different from another's just because they heard something differently or they observed something differently. And it really plays into that, and you really get that idea from all these different interviews of how they're retelling different aspects of her mother or different personality traits. And because there's one part where it's like one interview where Diane was like, she lived life with everybody else. She never really held anything back, and she she was just always sharing her life experience with other people. She would never really censor herself. And then it cuts to the very next interview is this another person saying, oh man, she was always very free spirited, but I could always tell she was like holding something back. Like she wasn't, always there was something she wasn't telling people. So you kind of get these contrasting stories, and it's really interesting how she kind of weaves that in with the reenactments of the past. So I highly recommend it. I think it was really good. It's about an hour 40, so a longer runtime for a documentary. But
can you get it on streaming service?
It's on Tubi for free.
Okay.
With ads, but
Tubular.
So. Yeah, there's an old kind of like, I don't know if it's even film or theory saying that like every documentary obviously every documentary is political and every documentary has a stance. So like every documentary is always telling you a certain side of the story, and you're only getting one of those things.
Sure.
It sounds like this movie almost plays with that premise.
It definitely plays on that. It's definitely play on that for sure, and it's also more of a play on just in everyday life. Like if I was telling the story of, I thought about it. I kind of connected to it with my mom, and my mom is one of 9 kids.
Okay.
9 or 10.
Wow.
Yeah. So I always hear whenever
they know what was
together,
causing it.
Sorry?
I think it's an old stupid joke. If someone says they have a lot of kids, you go, oh, do they know what was causing it?
Catholicism and Italians, I think those two.
Oh, there you go.
Together, so
it's a potent mix.
So whenever, at like family gatherings, I always hear stories of like my aunts and uncles, and I think a lot of people get this, but my aunts and uncles telling stories of how they all lived together in their old 305 house, and that's kind of the play that she's taking on it. But also for sure what you're saying, Nathaniel, it's also a play on like all these everybody has their own side to it and stuff like that. So yeah. After that, I caught up on Attack on Titan. Last week I didn't watch the episode, or I think I caught up last week. And then last week they didn't have a new episode.
Right. You thought they were on a mid-season break,
I thought they were on a break. They weren't. Apparently, my friend was telling me some kind of earthquake happened in Japan that I was not aware of. And it was also the 10-year anniversary of the 2011 earthquake that caused, earthquake that caused a tsunami, if you guys remember that.
Yes.
So they I guess somehow didn't get the episode out last week. At least that's what I heard. So they put 2 episodes out yesterday. Watched both of those. Finally, the build up that has been going on for like 7 or 8 episodes has finally kind of paid off, or at least developed to a point where I feel satisfied with it, because it was building for a long time, and then they revealed some more stuff, and I'm now really like the spot that this season's in.
Good.
And it's I'm very excited for how they finish this out. The only thing is, and I don't want to say too much about this, but they put Aaron, the main character, in a very weird spot, and I'm having trouble understanding why they put him in this place, or at least why they made his character that way after 3 seasons of pushing him one way. It kind of feels like this 4th season, he's almost like a brand new character, and they haven't fully given me enough reasons to believe that change or understand why that change happened. And I think, there are some explanations I can think of that are like, okay, but I still just don't necessarily like where it was going, or where his character is going. So, but that's just a choice they made. So,
yeah, it's always weird or kind of frustrating when there seems to be some way. I find that happening a lot with anime, where I'm just like, my kind of like Western sensibility of how stories are told tells me that a certain story is typically supposed to end this way, and then they'll just do it the other way, or do it a different way, or do it somewhere that I'm not expecting. I'm like, well, that's narratively unsatisfying to me, and you just kind of have to deal with it. Like, that's kind of a weird, uncomfortable feeling that I've experienced once or twice as well. But hey, that's what life's for, right? Variety.
Yeah, and that's what anime's for. I will say, I want to let you guys know, my roommate found the dub of the new season, so it is out there somewhere. It is available if you guys want to hunt that down. If you guys are interested, I can try to get his link to you guys. But it is out there if you guys wanted to catch up. There's I think now 14 or 15 episodes.
Interesting.
Frick.
I highly recommend it. It's been very good so far.
Thanks, Noah.
Overall, his name is Owen. And the last two things kind of go hand in hand, but I got around to Last Chance U's basketball season.
Ooh.
Oh, we were talking about
Which
this.
we brought up.
How is
Yeah,
that?
which we brought up a couple weeks ago on the news streaming. It's pretty good. It's I'm liking it a lot. It is more of the same in the sense that if you've seen Last Chance U, any of the seasons, I think I've only seen the first one, but I haven't seen the second two, but I assume they're kind of the same. But it's more of the same thing. It's just basketball, so it's the same storyline of washed up players that are still trying to get their chance, and a JUCO school that doesn't have the budget for an athletic program, kind of that kind of thing. But regardless, within that, I think that the players are very interesting. They have some to say backstory is kind of disingenuous because it's not like a fictional their backstory,
it's their
but
life.
their origin or whatever you want to call it. It's compelling, and same especially for the coach. And the coach is displayed in a weird, interesting way because you can tell he's a very personable guy, but then you see these outbursts that he has, and you're just kind of like, wow, I don't know if I really understand it because when you're on the court in a practice or something like that. And there's obviously a dynamic between a coach and a player.
Sure.
But then when you get that third person perspective where you're like, I have no involvement, I'm not actually there, you kind of see like this seems a little out of context. This seems a little unnecessary.
Right.
This seems a little overboard. So it's been very interesting to see how they portray the coach and then actually see what he does and see if that portrayal is actually kind of more or less accurate than it should be.
It does sound interesting, especially coming off of the stories we tell, and I'm sure that's kind of like at the front of your mind too. Yeah,
it's definitely been on my mind a little bit. And then hand in hand with that is I've been watching a lot of March Madness. I love March Madness. I don't know if you guys, Blake or Ty, are you guys into basketball? Nathaniel, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't watch too much college basketball, but I'll watch the tournament a little bit. I watch a ton more NBA. But yeah, I watched some of the games and seen some of the upsets. It's
been quite a few.
Yeah, it's kind of expected though, in basketball, man.
I feel like that happens every year.
It does, yeah. Basketball is
this year more than any other or any of the past years. There have been a lot of upsets.
Yeah.
Is that just because the quality of athlete is ranging higher, or like competition's getting better, or is it?
I think this year potentially part of the reason could be the COVID season because they didn't play a full season, and then it's really inconsistent on who's playing when because you get a COVID test positive and you're out for 2 weeks. So it was a pretty inconsistent season across the board. Some teams have played 30 games, some teams have played 20.
That can play a role.
It's really hard.
COVID this year with athletics is really big on. You really got to be like sold in. And if you ever play sports, that term, you know what I mean? But that's really what it's all about because there were probably people who didn't even train. Like, oh, we're not going to have a season.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And that stuff kind of plays a role. And then with basketball, you see the upsets all the time because basketball is one of those sports where one person can take over.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It could be anybody's night.
Yeah, right. And so it's tough to make a perfect bracket because I think they said somebody lost in the first round and that was
done.
Yeah, that was 97 of percent of
there
brackets,
were,
you know what I mean?
There were 3 perfect brackets left on the second day.
Yeah.
They were all counting on Missouri, my school, to win, and we lost. So there are no more perfect brackets.
Real fucking nice.
At the end of the second day. Yeah. No, I was thrilled. We didn't play a great game, but
I think it's pretty crazy.
It was a good game. We could have played better.
Yeah. I didn't watch it. I don't really pay attention to basketball either. I just think it's absolutely insane. There's one football game a week, but then you look at baseball and basketball and there's multiple games for the same team in 1 week.
Man.
Sometimes even in the same day in baseball's case. And it's just it's so wild.
Good old fashioned doubleheaders, baby.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. The MLB, you play 162 games in 4 months.
That's so mad.
It's crazy, dude. But I think that just comes back down to they're obviously not full contact sports. Yeah. Obviously, they're tolling on the body. I couldn't imagine running around on a basketball court for an hour. Are you kidding me? Kiss my ass.
Right.
But yeah, and football, you're just beating the shit out of each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well.
All right. Well. Yeah, that's been it for my what we're watching. Because I also watched a 4-hour long cut plus a 2-hour
Aren't you glad you didn't do this in one day, like you were planning to last week?
I'm very glad.
Hey, Adam,
man.
this was your first time watching Justice League 2017, right?
Yeah, it was my first time watching both of them.
Oh no!
All right,
and
fuck it, let's
I will
jump
let
into
you
it,
guys know that I actually decided to watch Snyder Cut first, and then watch the original Justice League.
Come on, man.
I'm disappointed.
I wanted
Yeah.
disappointed. I thought I was doing it for the sake of the pod to see if I can get like a a unbiased opinion on Zack Snyder's
a
cut.
non-jaded view of it.
But you gotta, in order to watch the Snyder Cut, man, you gotta see, as Nathaniel said, right? You gotta see where they came from.
You gotta earn your stripes.
And that first Justice League, and we can probably we just hop in?
Oh yeah, well let's go for it.
That
man.
first Justice League movie, that movie's fucking terrible, dude.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, like I watched.
I love it.
I watched that on Wednesday, might have been, because I think you guys sent a picture of the group chat, right? Then I replied, "Yeah, I'm watching it too."
Yeah.
And just to go from this, or from 2017 to Snyder Cut, I guess that's kind of the easiest way to term them while we're talking about them. A day after each other was like, I don't think Snyder Cut's like a phenomenal movie by any means, but it's light years ahead of that 2017 film. That 2017 film is horrible, man.
Yeah, it's not good. It is not a good movie.
Oh man, and I like Josh.
Yeah, it's one of those things like that movie. I don't even like. I almost think Joss Whedon is kind of given some unfair guff for that, because I don't think he did a whole lot on that movie.
No, I think they basically were like, "This is what we have so far.
Yeah.
This is
Can
what
you
you
make it
have
into a
to
movie?
do.
For $50 million. Can you do this?
Take it or leave it." And he's like,
Okay.
I guess.
I'm a terrible person, so
Because from what I kind of read about it, I mean, obviously HBO
Allegedly.
Max gave Snyder some additional money to finish this.
correct.
But what I got out of it was that they gave Josh a handful of film, right? And they were kind of like, hey, this is what we have so far. Can we make this into a cohesive story? Then he probably went in, chopped a few things up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's a tough task for anybody. Let's be clear on that. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
He probably took a look at what they had, and he was just like, "Do you want to give me a lot of money, or you want to give me a little money?" And they're like, "Man, we want to give you like a little money." And he's like, "All right, well, I can do it, but it's gonna blow."
It's almost unforgivable for me for that movie to be just released.
Yeah.
Like, in general, they
It's
should have
so
just waited.
bad.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
on rewatch, it's like, it's almost worse.
Yeah.
I remember not hating it at the time. Like, I remember seeing it in theaters and just going in and being like, I think this movie is going to be dog shit. My expectations are so low.
Everyone's was.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay. It was like there was things and there was punching and Superman actually cracked a smile and like everyone was pretty and it was all right to look at all the handsome people act. But like, it looks like dog shit. It doesn't match any. It's one of the worst looking movies I've ever seen. It is so ugly.
Have you guys seen the memes going around where they show the same cut of both the
God.
movies and how they're rendered and everything like that?
Yeah, I sent one. I
my
sent one.
God.
Like, I know we were like at the time of Dawn of Justice, we shat on Zack Snyder for his blue take on everything and like everything being this ultra slow motion, but like, man, when they tried to change it out of that, it was so bad.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't particularly think the Snyder Cut's that much better.
It isn't. I just don't think it's very good, man.
It's coming in fresh. So yeah, let's. You threw me off my game with that, honestly.
Yeah. I just thought it'd be. I was like,
no,
I've
it's
never
okay.
seen it.
I understand it.
I was the only one. I was the only one that could do it like this, and I was curious what going into the Snyder Cut without seeing the original cut would be like.
Yeah, for sure.
And it turns out very disjointed. But I think that's just, man. I don't even know. I don't even know where to begin with this, man.
I'm shocked.
It feels very broken.
I'm shocked with how much of the 2017 studio cut, I'll call it, we get in the Snyder Cut. Like, it's still more or less the same movie in terms of like plot outline.
Yeah.
But there's obviously a different arrangement of it's a different edit, and there's also some scenes that have been subtracted and other scenes have been added. But the majority of the DNA is the same.
I want to say really quick, it feels like the one-liners and the comedy and all the jokes they had, they used all the good ones in the first cut, and they used all the bad outtakes in the Snyder cut. Because it feels like he didn't want them to overlap at all in that regard, as far as like the jokes and the one-liners or whatever. And I felt like they landed much better, not great, but much better in the original cut than they did in the Snyder cut. Because the ones they have in the Snyder cut, I was just like, oh my god, that's awful. That's awful. Like there was one joke about some guy one of the scientists. He's like, oh, you know, that's what my prom date said, or something like that. I was like, this is just dumb. And there are more than one time. There's more than one time in the movie that this happens, and it just felt. I don't understand why he's reusing so much of the original cut, and then not giving the good lines.
Well, because from my understanding, those ones from the original cut are his cuts.
Yes,
no, they are. But I'm saying, why would he choose the bad ones?
Because that was part of his vision.
Ones?
I think actually it was part of the deal was that they might not have been able to use like any of the same footage. So I believe that there is actually shots in this that are basically reshoots of prior scenes that like they didn't even change at all. It's just, but they had to reshoot them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Man, I'm so mixed. I'm so mixed on the Snyder cut. I'm definitely hard negative on the studio cut.
For sure. That's a no-brainer.
I like it a lot more. I like it so much more.
I like it a lot more, but I think it's still
But what is that really saying?
Yeah, I think it's still from a story standpoint, it's a very broken movie. We've used the word broken. I'm going to call it a broken movie, but. Yeah. I mean, you can't take it away that it's definitely a vision.
Oh yeah,
and definitely a Zack Snyder film.
Yeah, I don't really mind the 4-hour runtime either.
I do.
I definitely do. I will never.
At home, it's doable though.
It's long, but I think it's just one of those movies that like I'm gonna be like, well, now I don't have to go back to that because I don't want to spend 4 hours doing it. So I'm gonna take a really long time in between watches. But I definitely do plan on watching this again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
But I also think that like there are so many scenes, particularly in the Snyder cut, that are like feel like they're in there because it's the Snyder cut, and it was like we can't leave anything out of the Snyder cut.
Yeah,
like there's like the we have the movie going on in the background as we always do for this, and we just got to one of the scenes where Steppenwolf is talking to Desaad, and he's like, and Desaad's like, how are you going to track the mother boxes? And Steppenwolf's
and
like...
And he repeated it?
Yes, it's the exact same dialogue. Like, why the fuck is that in there? Like, I feel like we just have that in there because it's the Snyder cut, so it has to be 4 hours long.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that happened like a couple times in this, where I was
there's a handful of scenes that are directly from the 2017
like, I think there is a good 3.5 hour cut of this, or even like a 2 hour 45.
3 hour cut.
Yeah, I think a 3 hour cut would have been perfect, man.
Sure.
It honestly feels like this movie is 3 hours, but an hour of it is in slow motion.
That is another very genuine criticism I have of this as well.
Yeah, man.
I'd agree with you guys. I think the ideal cut of this is probably 3 hours. Right. You know, maybe 250 or something. Because what's Avengers?
Which I think is fine.
Endgame?
Like I'm fine.
Endgame's like 3-1. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, we looked it up before we watched this. It's 3 hours and 1 minute.
So I think that's kind of more on par with what they were doing, but I think they just kind of owed it to not themselves, but
to Zach.
To your point, they were like, yeah, like we just got to put everything on this.
Right.
Shit. You know what I mean? It's like just because all the flack we got for 2017.
Yeah.
Let's just give them everything that we have so you can see the full vision. And I like it. I mean, they go into way more depth into Cyborg. Like, they took all the fucking Cyborg's best things. They're not even in 2017.
Right.
I don't even know how they tried to make that movie.
Yeah, that was bad. That was like, and like, especially after all the news that has come out afterwards, where Ray Fisher has basically been like, yeah, Joss Whedon treated me like shit, and like all of my stuff got cut. Apparently, that's true because like it's all there.
And he's like a huge bulk of the movie.
Right.
So it's like, how did they even think of cutting some of that stuff out? You know what I mean?
I was really hoping they would kind of change the look of him, because I don't think he was done particularly well.
The CGI is kind of weird.
I think it looks fine.
I really hate his arms, his thruster
his
cannons.
Shoulder. Yeah. Well, I hate his shoulders. When he's wearing like a sweatshirt, it's like it looks like he's wearing football pads. Like at least make him look normal, or put him in like plated armor. Yeah, I know he is. Or put him in more of like a plated armor and not like all these geometric like shapes and all that other kind of shit.
He looks like a Transformers from like a Revenge of the Fallen era. Like, where they're just like weird crab people.
Yeah. But I wish they would have gone a different route with him. I like the storyline of him. I really like Cyborg. I watched a lot of like Teen Titans,
For sure.
and I really just like the comedic part of Cyborg.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I know this is obviously DC's actually an incredibly dark universe when you think about it. But yeah, I understand where they're trying to go at this point. I just don't particularly agree with it. But that's just me.
What were you gonna say, Adam?
I was gonna say, if we're talking about redoing characters, I do think the Steppenwolf and Snyder cut is way better.
Agreed.
That's the biggest takeaway.
Not only the
opinion.
design of him, but also the quality of CGI is actually pretty good on him,
Yeah.
and that's one of the best pieces of CGI in this movie that
For sure,
looks
man.
good.
Man. The armor is light years ahead of how he looked there. And even just his characteristics.
He's bigger.
His
Yeah, you
demeanor.
get a little more
Yeah.
dialogue
He
from
seems-
him. You
yeah.
understand him.
He seems
Yeah.
so much more of like an evil presence in this
Yeah.
one. The other one, it's just like,
Yeah.
He's just a
I don't
guy.
care. Yeah, you know what I mean?
The guy who showed up.
Not even a guy. He's more of a silhouette in
Yeah.
the 2017 one.
One of the podcasts that I listened to pointed out that he has Furby eyes, though, and now I can't unsee it.
Oh, no.
That's funny.
I can see that.
That's hilarious.
But yeah,
I have so many notes.
I like
on
how
this
his
movie.
armor can go like all the way off, like how he
it's
does
dope.
his head.
Yeah.
That reminds me of Lost in Space. I think that's 2001 Lost in Space.
I don't know. I haven't seen it either.
Anyways, the character they're fighting like these robot spiders in space, and he's got like this helmet that like goes over his face, like it comes up from behind his neck, and it goes. And I'm like, oh my god, that's sick.
Yeah.
Which Cyborg's war face,
Armor
like
does
yeah,
it,
his headed like when he puts on his mask and everything.
Yeah.
That's cool. That was probably the coolest part
when
of
he
him.
flies,
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Man, Amy Adams has nothing to do in this movie.
No,
Yeah, I don't really know why she's in the movie. To be honest
Snyder
with you.
sucks with women, man. Like Wonder Woman's god awful in this too. Like, and not even like she's like
he got her
doing-
butt.
yeah, we know that. But like, yeah, and weird that like, how have we gone to the place where somehow the Zack Snyder cut is somehow less pervy than the Whedon cut? And like, but like his women are always so like sexless. Like they always have to be just so like there is no
Not a woman.
There is no chemistry between any of these
I see what
people.
you're saying,
Even though, and I love the like they've added into this one like the Batman Wonder Woman thing. They seem to have much more of a romantic kind of
Yeah,
like
I
flirtation
like
with
that.
each other.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite pairings in the DC universe that
Yeah.
like almost never gets any play. And like it but there's just no chemistry with any of these people ever. It's irritating. And like I think it's like one thing I like about this universe is I feel like it's always impeccably cast. Like everyone in here I think has the potential to be really good in these roles, but it never feels like they can delve into them enough or they're well written enough for them to act natural in them. It always just seems like it's one thing away for me, in my opinion anyways.
Yeah. I mean, on the women tip then, I mean, I do like, I guess everyone, it's 4-hour movie, so everyone just has more opportunity to be fleshed out, to be honest with you.
Sure.
But I mean, even like the, whatever you want to call it, like the bank heist, the bank robbery.
Well, where
that
Wonder Woman
scene.
just vaporizes a guy.
Yeah, but like stuff like that, it's like, I don't know how they chose that. They cropped everything, all the good parts out of the 2017 part.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The 2017 cut becomes baffling when you see the Snyder cut, and like I don't know if I totally buy that this is the exact version we would have gotten had this movie come out in 2017.
No way. No way.
Like I think there's
Yeah,
been some
no way.
clever rewriting as we gone to make this
For sure.
better for
For sure.
sure. But yeah, it is baffling when you see the two between each other. Of if you could have had a 2-hour and 45-minute cut of this movie and released that in 2017, and then I think DC would be in such a different place than they are right now.
Yeah.
In particular, in this series too. I think if this movie had released then, we would probably be gearing up for the second one of these.
Yeah. So I mean, how do you guys? Well, Adam says he likes Steppenwolf more in this one. Do you guys have any?
Yeah, besides Furby eyes, I think I think Steppenwolf's a lot better. I like the cyborg stuff. What did you think of his wild, like when he goes into the internet and sees the market fighting with each other, and it's literally a bull.
Oh yeah,
and a bear.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, that was stupid.
I kind of liked it in like the insanity of it. Like that's the thing. Like I want to like this movie. I really do. But like there is part of me that just the story based, like the functional part of the movie needs to be functional part of my brain just doesn't allow me to totally check out and just go on it. Like if I go into this and just being like, oh, it's a cool visuals or like, not really paying attention to it, then yeah. But if you're going to demand 4 hours of my time and you're going to conceivably be making one of these to go up against an Endgame or an Infinity War or something like that, I need something that's a little bit stronger than just we have to go and get the boxes because the boxes say we have to go get them.
right.
Yeah.
Boxes, man.
I hate that there's almost no color in this. I wish they would have just let him shoot it in black and white. I don't get why it would be in black and white.
Yeah.
I hate that it's in 4:3, particularly when you see the Whedon cut going, or the studio cut in particular, because that means that they've taken stuff that has shot on widescreen and then chopped the sides off on it. That makes me sad.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
What else? Things that I liked. I like Jeremy Irons. He's great.
Yeah.
What did you think of the post screen or not post credits, but end of movie, the epilogue?
The nightmare thing.
Yeah.
I'm a really
was
big fan of that universe. I like where Batman is in his life in that. Everyone's always, like,
I hate this Batman.
Batman doesn't, like
I'm not a
kill and
big
everything
fan
like
either.
that. And I like the fact when they turn something like this on there, like its head, and show you like how dark Batman actually gets. Like if you ever get a chance to watch Flashpoint, the animated movie, you get a really cool idea of what this would be like because you see Thomas Wayne in an alternate universe, and Bruce is the one that died. So Thomas Wayne is like a really dark Batman who actually carries a like Glock on him all the time just to kill like criminals. Like he doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
So it's really cool to kind of see like that side and like how Batman actually progresses getting there and how kind of fucked up he made everything in that universe. The Joker part, man,
That seemed just added on.
I really, 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 really want to like it, and I am a big fan of the idea, the concept of Jared Leto's Joker with him being a little bit more of a gangster and like a crime lord. And we've talked about this before.
This doesn't even feel like that character.
Yeah,
though.
I know. So
No,
that's the part that really kind of upsets me a little bit, and the dialogue between them. If you don't know anything that's going on in that time, you are so fucking lost on why this is happening and what their relationship is, and it gets a little twisted, and I don't particularly care for it. I think it's something that's probably not needed at all.
The dialogue in this is so expository and so just like, this is the thing that is happening and this is what we're going to do with this thing and blah, blah, blah. But it's so jargon heavy. It's like the most, like everything's a change engine and everyone's a meta blah, blah, blah. And everyone's got a 3-letter word or an acronym. Like it's just so narratively dense and dialogue.
They're just they're forcing it to be so much bigger than what it actually needs to be, and it hurts it more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just like it feels bloated. Feels bloated. But like there's also,
it's because you don't get things like Age of Ultron before Avengers Endgame. You put this into 4 hours and you're trying to fix everything that DC is fucked up until now.
I genuinely think there is a problem with the story in that everyone in this universe is this extreme with like putting your hands across your chest and like the X motion, like you're in the 2002 X game version of the characters. Like this is the Monster Energy version of all of these the Rockstar version of all these characters, where it's just like everything's so insane and so amped up to 10, and everyone's so grim, but it's all things that are happening to them. Everyone carries the burden of the world on them because they are the only ones granted this enormous power to change the world and everything. But like in a 4-hour movie, that's just so much. If it was, but instead, if we had I'm a person, through victim of circumstance or through my own hard work or through anything, I now have to have an outside chance of maybe pulling this thing off. It's so much more compelling.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense, and it makes me sad. I don't know. I feel like I'm repeating myself here, but I'm so back and forth on this movie, and it seems like everyone's kind of in the same boat as well.
Yeah, I think
there are definitely parts I like.
Yeah,
and I want to like it. It just overall, when you look at it as a whole, it's just like, man, this is so broken and bloated. Like those are the two words I can only really think of. It's
at the same time, if they made a sequel, I'd watch it. Like,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Sick. Yeah, I think I just, it doesn't need to be this big. I really like a lot of things about it. I definitely like it better than the first one, which I think everybody will agree with.
Yeah.
I really don't like Ezra Miller as Flash.
No, his characterization
he
always seems a bit weird. Or this characterization of him, where he's like almost this like strange, I don't know if they're going for like an incel autism kind of thing with him, where he doesn't get social cues or something.
It kind of seemed like they gave him like ADD to go along with his abilities. Like his mind is fast as well as his body, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
it is.
Which I get, but I mean, if you look at like the CW's rendition of Flash, I mean, it's so much better, and he's not like that, and I think that kind of ruins it a little bit for me, because obviously we've gone into those.
How about they don't even tell us that that's supposed to be Iris West in his little thing?
Yeah,
like we have no idea.
You don't know what Flash that is.
Right. Well, we don't know anything about that. The girl that he saved, it's just him saving some girl.
Right.
And like,
yep. Yeah, I've seen so many other versions of Flash that I think he's the biggest one that I have a gripe with. The Jean Martian Manhunter at the end was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was about to ask what do you guys think about the fact they added him.
A little unneeded again, like the whole Joker scene. It's pretty unnecessary for anybody that doesn't know who the fuck he is.
It just raises more questions of where he's been. I mean, that's all it does. And they're gonna try and write it away as like, well, I was thinking about it, and now I'm gonna be a part of it. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still better. I'd still probably sit down and watch it again for another 4-hour sitting.
Yeah,
but it's not.
I would too.
But I think it's just because I'm still very curious.
I would need. It's so hard because it's like to get a concrete opinion on where I land on this. I want to watch it again, but I also just don't really want to watch it again.
I think there's a lot of people on the same boat.
Yeah. A Green Lantern sighting, not the Green Lantern we think of, but
yeah. So Adam, talk more. How was your experience with the Whedon cut after coming into the Snyder cut?
Sure. I just, it felt like a little bit more compact, obviously, and I think because it's half the time. I was amazed that after, like, I put it on, I was like, "This is done already," because I already had that thing in my head where this is like a long ass movie.
Did you laugh? Did you laugh at the Flash landing on Wonder Woman's boobs, and then in the Russian family trying to spray the parademons with their insect spray?
No.
Yeah, I fucking hate
it wasn't great. I don't know why they put that. I mean, that was definitely I think that Joss Whedon definitely put that family in there.
Yeah, that
seems like something he did.
Yeah, that feels it gives the audience a
especially when you compare it to like his Age of Ultron. I mean, it kind of feels like the same kind of thing where he tried to humanize the people around it, the city and stuff. Yeah. I mean, overall, the Joss Whedon cut is definitely just as broken, if not more broken than the Snyder cut. So,
I mean,
but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm with Tyler, man. I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but I'll jump ship and say I do like it. At least in a final act, like the Flash is actually there for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the 2017 one, he's literally there just to push people.
In a truck.
In a fucking
Yeah, that was an odd choice in the first one to have him be kind of like a pacifist or something.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's laughable.
Again, that's that Ezra Miller or I shouldn't even say it's his fault, but that's the way that this Flash was written. He's meant to be more of a support character versus a lead character. And if I know like the Flash that I know, he's a badass. Like he's just in the action as much as everybody else. I mean, he's got abilities that allow him to pass through things, hit really hard, electrically charge things, which is pretty cool.
So at least they touched on some of that stuff in this one.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. Flash is just such a badass to me, and this is just it ain't it.
It's just it's baffling to me that with the history of DC that we have and all of the insanity that goes on in that universe and everything that these are the movies that we're getting.
Yeah,
you know,
there's so much creativity and so many good writers in,
but there's so many good villains too. Like why are we even going dark side? Like let's be honest, call it what it is. Dark side is just gray Thanos. Like we're here
100%.
We're here. It's the same thing.
Even kind of looks like him.
Yeah, like if you wanted to go into evil Superman territory, because I don't feel like Zack Snyder even really likes Superman. Like I think he just wants to do grim and gritty Batman and just jerk off Frank Miller for the next 3 hours.
For the record, I also am not the biggest fan of Superman. He's not my favorite superhero in that universe.
Which is fine. But,
I like to call him Solar Panel just to piss Rob off, because like that's literally what he is.
But he's not even balanced in this, though. No one is.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that bothers me so much is that it relies on our shorthand knowledge of the characters and what they're like, but then goes against all of those. Doesn't execute those knowledges. And it doesn't do enough to establish them as being different from our kind of presets that we have of them, so that it can be different and make it more of a statement. Like Wonder Woman just kills people in this.
She does, blatantly.
Just straight up.
Brains on wall.
And, like, that's fine. And, like, there's a part of me that, like, when this comes on, I'm like, okay, we're in the Zack Snyder world now, so I have to be like, okay, Batman's more violent. He's randomly killing people. I don't know why, but he is.
Because he can.
Wonder Woman's killing people. Superman will just...
Oh, I'm sorry, because he's rich.
Yeah, as we've heard 4 or 5 times.
Right.
But, it's just so wildly inconsistent, and like I don't understand why this is what we're doing.
This is what we get.
With 2 tries and $400 million, this is what we're getting out of this.
And 6 hours later.
I don't really like how they use Batman in this movie. He felt kind of relegated to.
Oh, you mean he doesn't do anything?
Yeah, getting everybody together, and then he drives his car and his mech around.
Why is Batman even the one getting everyone together?
Right, it almost seems like it should be like Wonder Woman, or if maybe for this matter, maybe Cyborg, because he kind of knows all this information.
Why not Lois Lane?
But yeah,
wouldn't that be interesting if she was the one like, hey, I was married to Superman, and she comes out and then is like, we lost the guy who I know best. Like, and then she pulls everyone together or something like that.
That would be really interesting.
Maybe does her reporting and kind of finds out where everyone is, or I don't know. Batman could just find an email somewhere. But
right.
And it just part of the reason I feel like it feels its length too, and I was talking about this actually with someone at work the other day, is just it's the same thing that you see in each one of the Snyderverse movies too, is that everything's just station to station. A scene ends because the scene
has to
end. Because everything that is supposed to be done
not
is
because
done.
It's progressive.
Yeah, like
it doesn't really connect.
Right, like. Okay, so Steppenwolf has to go to get the mother boxes. Well, do we see Steppenwolf go and get the mother box? Yes, we see Steppenwolf go get all of the mother box, and then we move on to the next scene. Why not have, like, Steppenwolf goes and get the mother boxes, but Batman, who is supposedly the smartest man in the world, has figured out that, hey, he's targeting mother boxes, so he takes it, and now Steppenwolf has had the thing that he's looking for removed out of his grasp, and now he has a reason to chase the Justice League and move the plot forward that way. It's just like, okay, what's the coolest thing I could shoot here? okay, now that that's over, what's the next coolest thing that I could shoot here with these characters?
And
what's the
which of it's gonna
craziest
be
shit
in
I
slow
could
motion?
come up with?
I can't decide. It's all gonna be in slow
I'm
motion.
pretty sure Cyborg wants to bang Batman's plane. Like, he keeps talking to him.
He does,
like,
he does.
She wants
to fly.
Yeah, what does he say? It's like it's singing to him or something like that.
Hey man, I respect all sexualities on this show.
It's fine. You know, he's a changed man after the change engine got him and changed him. But it was just like, it was so out of nowhere and like kind of comic booky that I kind of respected it. But
I mean, do you guys like the more serious tone of this though?
yes,
To
tonally
Yeah,
it
100%.
matches.
Yeah.
I like that it matches all the way through. That it is uniform in its kind of vision. That's one of the big strengths it has for it.
For sure.
Yeah,
Because they definitely not dumbed down, it's probably not the word, but they've definitely lessened the amount of like those jokes you get and stuff like that where it's
it's more restrained.
Yeah.
In a lot
Like
of
you said,
ways.
to your point though, like in 2017, like Flash falls on Wonder Woman,
Right.
stuff like that. It's
Cool.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Who wants to see that? You know what I mean?
That joke died a long time ago.
Right.
Yeah. So I was relieved when they didn't have that in there. Even Steppenwolf has a few lines in the 2017 one. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But he had some stuff, and it's kind of like, hey, like, I don't think as somebody who's like that evil or trying to take over the world would probably be saying stuff like that. You know? And they kind of hit home on that on the.
I think Steppenwolf was probably one of the best parts about this movie. You actually get to see
I
why
love him in Snyder Cut, dude.
you get to see why he's driven to do the things that he does because he had to retreat and because he was already beaten once and
Yeah.
Right, and that dark side doesn't like him. He's been outcast.
Exactly.
Well, you don't have any idea of that in 2017. So he's literally just like, yeah, I need
just
3
some guy that
boxes.
just portals in, steals your shit, and leaves.
Right. And you're like, okay, well, like, what is he doing with these 3 boxes?
Right.
We don't even know what the boxes do
Right.
in the 2017 one.
Why don't they remember where Earth is?
Yeah, that was
point.
weird.
Well, they do conquer a lot
planet
of
that I
worlds. though.
lost
They say
on.
they
I
go
feel
from
like I might
universe to
remember
universe.
But he literally almost dies there.
Right.
He says
You would think he'd be like, okay, I'm going to remember this one.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I'll give you that.
He says he owes him 50,000 more planets before he can come home or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, this guy's
Crazy.
never going to conquer that.
Crazy.
yeah, I'm sorry, 50,000 planets is a lot.
Yeah.
Like, are they counting just like moons? Like,
Hey man, they're from another universe. It means that they can universe jump. So
Sure.
really,
I
Yeah.
guess maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got. But yeah, you would think like if this is because they said this is the one that pushed him away.
Right.
You would think he'd be
And
okay,
has
like,
the
I
anti-life
gotta go
equation
back
on
there.
it apparently, which we still don't know what it is or even like how it functions or anything
It's
like
his.
that.
It's his snap.
It's those markings in the ground though, is it not?
Yeah, but what does that do?
I have no idea.
Like,
it's
Okay.
against life, man.
Why is
it's
it-
anti-life?
why is
dude.
it here on Earth?
Right.
Sheesh, man. I'll be damned.
The world may never know.
The world.
I did see a really funny meme that somebody was like, "This is a 4-hour-long Mercedes commercial."
I did. I saw somebody say that.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Well, apparently, so the one where the car that he gets into when he and the Flash drive away or
Yeah.
whatever, that wasn't a real car. Zack Snyder saw that car in a video game and was like, "Build me that. That's what Bruce Wayne's gonna drive." What are we
Yeah.
doing with this money, folks?
Yeah,
this
that
is
was
why
that
this
was
movie,
just a concept car made for this movie.
This is why this movie cost $400 million.
They got $1 million of it on that car.
I want that.
CGI is brutal for $400 million. It's not
on some
it's not
parts.
Great.
Yeah.
It's some parts. Yeah, I won't say all
I
of
just
it.
don't
It's
like
not
it on Cyborg
but-
personally.
Cyborg's terrible.
Yeah.
I just hate it. Oh, the crab robot's back. We gotta.
the crab. But I still do like. I like my functioning theory that
Sorry, guys. I didn't bring a sword.
They took that line out, didn't
Who
they?
said that?
Batman. Yeah.
Does he say
Batman.
that in the Snyder cut though?
No.
Oh, that, yeah,
It's
that's
not.
the
Yeah, that's in the Whedon cut.
yeah, that's when he picks up the gun, right?
No, that's when he gets in his little
No,
crab
he gets in his
robot,
tank.
and then he's like, I
Oh,
didn't bring a sword.
right.
And he's just drilling people with fucking
Yeah,
machine guns.
You're right. Yeah,
Yeah. Batman loves guns. Obviously.
yeah.
It's great.
Everyone always remembers that Batman.
He should be blue.
Yeah.
He should be fucking blue.
We're talking about Cyborg.
Cyborg.
Okay.
His lights inside him should be blue. His eye can be red. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, and I hate too that when he makes cannons out of his arms. This sounds like nitpicking, but like these are the like. Just make it like
It's
it
the
looks
small
like in the
things,
comic
man.
books.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he makes like he shoots a missile at like
It goes smaller too.
Steppenwolf.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, at Superman. He just shoots like a missile and
Oh,
he
he
like
does, yeah.
dodges it. Like,
like
why
the
the
freeze
fuck would Cyborg have a missile? He'd have like a laser beam or some shit.
Well, and then I hate that that like his guns like get smaller too. Like when he turns his arm into a cannon,
Yeah.
it comes to a point rather than going the other direction.
Yeah, like a cannon. Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
I think
We can be
problem
nitpicky
with-
about this all day.
Yeah, sorry. It is like I mean some of that stuff's just design. And if the rest of it was good, I wouldn't care. But
Yeah.
the fact that it's bad makes you care.
Facts.
I think the difference between something like this and the Avengers is obviously the fact that they haven't given the characters their own time to develop, because we're introduced to both the Flash and Cyborg
you're
in
right,
this
bro.
movie.
For sure.
And it's like with the Avengers, everyone had their own besides Hawkeye and Black Widow, everyone had their own solo movie, and you kind of know who these characters are. They've had their own stories, or you have some kind of attachment to them, and then it's bringing them together. Instead, they try to do both here, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
very rushed.
I agree, Adam, but then I also think like there's just a way to do it that you can do that with this movie too, and with like I think with this footage, like I think with this concept, this idea, with this script, like again, I'm thinking of like an Inception or something like that, which is a high budget, big concept movie with a big ensemble cast. That is just you are introduced to them in the moment and everything, and by the end of that movie, you know everything about those characters. It hits
true.
its mark. It's not going to be as in depth as like as an Avengers at this point, which has 20 movies into it. But I don't think it has to be.
Yeah.
And that's kind of I agree with you. I feel like they were playing catch up for a lot of this. And
I think they should just hit the reset button on anything that has to do with DC.
yeah, I mean, do you think? I mean, I kind of want to know what happens next in the universe.
I
Like, that's the thing.
I want
don't.
to see Darkseid now.
Yeah,
I
You
don't.
showed me him at the end of the movie. I want to see it.
I got enough. I saw his little eye laser beams that like bounce wherever he commands
what are those
them.
called?
The Omega
or
beams?
something like
Yeah.
that?
I thought they were gonna be cooler.
I still think they're cool. You get some little Easter eggs like that in
but
there.
Yeah, I was cool with that.
Yeah.
I just think when like I love Superman's heat vision in this, but his heat vision felt more powerful than like those little things. And I
Sure.
know they were underwater, but like I feel like if Superman shoots like just a torrent of flames from his eyes in this. I want like the nega beams to just be like that much better.
Yeah.
Like, they're just supposed to evaporate you.
Is Superman supposed to be as fast as the Flash?
Yeah, there's a whole comic book about this. There's a whole fucking series about this. There's so many arguments about this.
Prime Flash.
I just
smokes
wasn't sure.
Superman, in my opinion. But
I'm not sure.
I just think Flash should be faster than Superman.
Flash
I
in
agree.
his
That would
prime
make sense.
is faster than Superman. If you think I'm wrong, come
Okay.
fight me. He runs fast enough to fucking time travel.
And you even and
He
it's
must.
another thing that I like in the Snyder cut, where you pretty much see that twice, where he's able to like reverse time. Obviously, it's at the end when the mother boxes synchronize, I guess is the word I'm looking for, and when they're trying to bring Superman back.
Yep.
Where the mother box touches the water and then it kind of
Comes back out.
comes back up. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm kind of like, what the fuck is going on? And then I realize he's running. I'm like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yep.
you're able to put it back. So yeah, he just has so much more to do though in this movie. Everyone has so much more to do in this
Yeah.
movie.
Well, it's 4 hours long.
Right, as they should. Yeah, to your point, as they should.
everything's in it.
Yeah, right, as they should. But yeah, it's not the greatest. Light years ahead of 2017, in my opinion. Steppenwolf is light years ahead of where he was. That means it's cool with me.
Yeah, I think I've talked everything I'm going to talk about with this movie.
But to give
I don't know.
2017
Yeah.
some credit though, and I think you even might have mentioned it before, and I'm about to shit on it right after I give the credit. But the scene where Steppenwolf in 2017, where he goes to, I can't even think of the place where all the Amazons live. What's the
Themyscira.
Themyscira.
Mascara? Yeah, that scene in 2017 is the best scene in that movie.
No, that scene. I think that scene in
opinion.
Snyder Cut is the best scene in that movie, where he's just chopping them up.
And that's my next point, Adam, is that was the best scene in 2017, and then
man.
it's even better in this movie. And I was like, so it's just hard to even give it credit.
Yeah. When that happened, that's like 50 minutes into the movie. Actually, maybe less than that. But when that happened, I was like, all right, now I got some hope for this movie. This is kind of dope. Like that was a good action sequence. And then
I'm with you, man. That was the only hope of that 2017 movie. When I walked away, I was like, well, I did like that scene.
I think Snyder went a little bit into his horror roots in some of these scenes in this one, so that you can see too, like that scene when they're waiting around for the mother box to light back up again when all the Amazons are there and everything. It's pretty tension filled. And, there's another one later on. I think it's towards the end, maybe when they don't quite get it. I remember that being pretty effective as well too. I love how they kill Steppenwolf. That's awesome.
Opposed to the 2017 way is fucking terrible.
Where they just beat him up. I love
that.
They
don't even beat him up. I think Superman freezes his axe, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Do you guys smell that?"
Yeah, fear.
And then
the parademons kill him. And I'm like, "This is horrible."
I love that they just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, I'd rather see that. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Decapitate him before he goes through a portal at Darkseid's feet.
Tyler was getting a drink of water, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I called him back in.
For sure.
He's like, "You gotta come back here." I was like, "All right, my bad." So,
but at least let me see that. Let me see them fight the bad guy
100%.
And beat him. You know what I mean? Where you don't even get that resolution in 2017.
Yeah. It's better. Get good, kid.
Yeah. I do
it's
like
better,
Darkseid
but
snapping on his head though.
Is it good?
No.
No, it is not.
And I think that's the ultimate question we have to ask.
I gotta watch it again.
Yeah, it's better. I mean,
again, like
I might be with time, man.
There's so much. I mean, yeah, like we could be nitpicky about this. I think that's probably why a lot of people are kind of in the middle, because they were nitpicky of the first one, and then they were just kind of like, butthurt, and they're like, I don't know if I can, so I gotta keep my guard up. So like maybe next time I'll let my guard down a little bit more and kind of see where it takes me.
It goes back to Nathaniel's rule of thumb, or what he said the other day, is you got to go back. You almost forget where we came from.
Yeah.
Right? So if you really look at where we came from the 2017 film to this, it's miles ahead. Man.
It's true. It's true.
I don't know, man. Plugging my nose doesn't make dog shit smell any worse.
Yeah, that's true.
Or any better.
I like this scene even better too.
Yeah,
What's Amber Heard's character's name?
Mira.
Yeah.
Where she tries to suck the water out of him.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That was kind of cool. Yeah, I'm at that scene right now, actually, in my.
Sorry.
Oh, that's crazy. We're in the same spot. Yeah. But yeah, that was so much cooler to see, because in the, I think it's, I don't even know if she fucking fights him.
No, she doesn't.
No, she doesn't.
You know what I mean? Yeah, she just gets thrown on a wall, and that's really it.
And the first one,
try to defend herself.
She did. This scene's from the first one.
Where she collapsed the water and
then
shit.
He falls, and then he puts it back in.
But she doesn't try and suck the water.
She doesn't stops. No,
yeah,
he
do the water
punches her into a wall and then it stops.
Yeah. Tell you what, this movie makes me like Aquaman better.
Aquaman looks so much better than this, and you can tell just how much. I mean, we talked about it, I think, almost immediately after this scene, but like how much better the water and everything looks in Aquaman.
I think Zack Snyder has zero interest in Aquaman as a character,
which is such a shame. Because again, Aquaman's one of those people that you see is just a badass, a total badass.
And Jason Momoa is great. I love him.
Yeah, I think he's really great. I think
Aquaman.
it could be a really interesting thing of the character. A real interesting take on the character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
How many people do you think are mad about fire underwater?
Nah, not enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I like the scene where Batman goes to Atlantis more in this one, right? I mean, he's trying to kind of figure out. Yeah, obviously he already knows who he is, but he's not like, hey, you can talk to fish. You know what I mean? Like, in public.
I'll tell you what I hate in this, and it's in both of these, is that Batman's just like walking with Aquaman and Batman walking into the water, and Aquaman's just like, Bruce Wayne, Batman, that's you. Anyone here who has any grasp of English can know those two words.
Yeah.
And then he does this weird, awkward elbow dive into the ocean. I fucking hate it.
Well,
I'm so glad they didn't show it in this one.
Yeah.
But no, now he's just ripping off every shirt he has and just chucking it into the waves. He's just, all right, ocean, enjoy my litter.
In that whiskey.
They're biodegradable.
Yeah.
So what's the word with this music in the background throughout most of the movie? There's some weird shots with that. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I feel like it was almost.
Go ahead.
I feel like it was almost like this dude was just hired in, and they were like, "Hey, like, just come here and score this real quick, and like, just, like, hey, just do some like epic stuff in here, and just like lots of trumpets, some drums, like maybe
strings,
some chorus.
bring the strings.
Yeah, do some chorus. Yep, it's another slow motion shot. Yeah, I know. We've used that effect a lot. Don't worry about it. It's the original vision. We're staying true to the vision, sir.
Zack Snyder made a man reloading his gun in slow motion and put it in this film.
Well, what scene was that?
All I have to say.
I'm just curious.
There's something early on when like Lois does something it's like picking up a cup or something like that, and it's like slow.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember that. Yeah.
What is happening here?
Yeah, I remember that.
That's her scene, bro. Leave her alone.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is her
Only scene.
All right.
Well, you want to put both of these up on the list?
Yeah, put it on the list, man.
Yeah, let me.
We're doing 2017 first, second.
I don't care.
Let's do 2017 first, because that shit's gonna.
Yeah,
be
let's
very
do it
close to the
first.
bottom.
Jeez. Oh man, there it is. Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's in IMDb or Letterboxd, everybody.
Yeah, I actually logged it.
Wow. I don't know if I want to log it. I don't want anyone knowing I watched this movie.
I think I forgot to log it actually.
So 2017, fellas, JL 2017. Who wants to go first?
41.
We'll go Nathaniel. Okay, we'll go Tyler.
41.
Fair.
I'd rather watch this more than American Pickle because I like superheroes more than I like fucking whatever the fuck American Pickle was.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
I think you guys are misremembering. I mean, besides Blake, but Ty, I remember you didn't hate American Pickle.
I just didn't hate it because
You would put this under American Pickle, though. I mean, JL 2017. Really?
Yes, I would.
I mean, I hate the movie too, so like, it's not like I'm putting this at 6.
Yeah, for knowing that this movie was out there, and also and just that movie is just it's so broken.
Yeah.
It's so
dysfunctional.
Like
man.
I'm genuinely mad that Warner Brothers like released that movie and took people's money.
Oh yeah,
like that for
Yeah.
and for that
They
like
need their ass beat for that.
for like the for
For
HBO
sure.
Max at least just like giving me this and everything else, and like I will take American Pickle and like laugh at the 5 jokes that Seth Rogen makes in it, and
For
it's
sure.
only and it's the same amount of runtime, but Warner Brothers needs to pay for
Yeah.
releasing that
Like I
movie
said,
and taking
they need
anyone's
their ass
money.
beat. Him, the director,
the
Josh,
entry list is where
everybody.
they pay. Is that what you're saying?
What's up?
The entry list is where they pay. That's where you
Yes,
draw the line.
yes. When Zack Snyder unfortunately goes and Joss Whedon goes with him, and they're going to go at the same time, I imagine St. Peter at the pearly gates will have the entropy list pulled up, and they'll be like,
Yeah,
"This is where you are, sir,
yeah.
and this is where you get."
The entry list, for those of you who do not know, is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of genre or anything else, all in one fantastic list. If you'd like to view the list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description.
Yeah.
Man.
So,
All right.
So we got
42 for
Above or
me.
below American
So
Pickle?
Tyler's at
We going-
41.
yeah.
You're going 42, so the bottom of the bottom.
Yeah.
Adam, what are you doing?
I'm gonna put it below American Pickle. I like American
So
Pickle.
you're going 42.
I don't think it's bad. I think it's fine.
I mean, I'm definitely debating between those two, to be honest with you.
Is it better than The Purge?
Purge
No.
sucks too,
I would
but no,
say
it's not
no.
better than.
No, it really isn't.
God, you're gonna put me in the spot. Yeah, 2017 is bad.
Man,
Man.
there's so many good actors in this too.
Yeah, I gotta put it above American Pickle though.
All right.
I just
So
have to
2 at
personally.
41, 2 at 42. How do you want to split
What's
this
the
guy?
IMDb tiebreaker?
Cheat.
Justice
sure
League
Justice
is
League
a
is what it is.
6.2.
That's gonna be 5.
And
that's really bad.
I'm checking American Pickle right
I
now.
think it's 5.7 or something like that.
5.7. Yeah, it is 5.7.
Wow. 5 is like really bad.
I did not see that coming up. All right, fair enough. IMDb has spoken.
So Justice League is above it. I didn't hear the Justice League.
Fuck yeah.
Justice League's 41, American Pickle's 42.
Damn it.
Hyped.
All right. Well, Snyder cut.
Ooh,
This will be a little more interesting.
All right, so I guess I'll go first because I went last, and I'll just kind of think out loud for you guys. So if I'm just looking at, what is it, DCEU?
Yeah.
DCEU, yeah. If I'm just looking at that, I like Snyder Cut more than Wonder Woman 1984, right?
Facts.
Do I like Snyder Cut more than the first Wonder Woman, though? That's tough.
I didn't love the first Wonder Woman, but that's a definite no for me. I would rather
Yeah,
watch
you know what I mean? Right, and the Wonder Woman's pretty heralded as arguably their best film, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Shazam is just so forgotten.
that's I haven't seen Shazam, man.
Like,
I haven't either.
And they're just not mentioned in this movie at all.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
They've got
Like-
the Atom in this movie, but they don't have Shazam.
Yeah, Green Lantern and everything.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, so that's just kind of me thinking out loud. So I mean, I'd have to put it somewhere under the first Wonder Woman. For the sake of the Entropy list, I mean, I would put this above Borat.
I think, what is that? Put it at 33.
So that'd be
Yeah.
30. Am I looking at this right? Would that be 34?
If it's right under Wonder Woman, would be 34.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
34 is
Then
where I
Borat
would.
go
34 is where I
35,
have
yeah.
it.
I'd go 34.
Nathaniel.
Man, it's just again, story wise and like plot wise and visual wise, this movie is a lot higher than some of the. It makes me want to put it higher, but then I just remember that it's 4 hours long.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking like, man, would I rather watch this or would I rather watch that? And I'm like, I'd probably rather watch this, but then it's 4 hours long.
Yeah.
And it's just that's just really hurting it for me. What's the consensus at so far? I'm sorry, I was
34.
I was thinking
Me and
at
Tyler at 34.
Ty and Blake are
So
at
right
34.
below Wonder
I can go
Woman.
first if you want, because I'm
Go
actually
ahead.
lower. I'm actually lower on this. I was thinking 38, right above Project Power, right below King of Staten Island.
Man. Yeah, dude, you're.
Bro,
That's
Project
tough.
Power.
Man. That's a tough sell, bro.
I mean, that's kind of where I had it too.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Wonder Woman 1984 over this?
Yeah, I mean,
That
there were
movie's
parts of that movie that I
horrible,
liked.
man.
It's not a good movie, but neither is
Nuts.
this.
We ripped that movie apart, dude.
Yeah.
Outside of
did, but-
Nathaniel. Nathaniel kind of defended
We
it.
not
I'll
to
give
do
him
the
that.
same thing.
But again, my point at the time was
We forgot where we came from. Right. You see what I'm saying?
That's where this all started. Was
Right.
the Wonder Woman 84 defense, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I think, but like, and then again, like,
All of those movies below 34 right now, right? 34 and under, I probably don't want to watch again for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, Boondock Saints is a maybe. I might give King of Staten Island another watch just because, you know, I don't know, maybe. But like Project
Yeah.
Power, I'm not watching. High Tension, I'm not watching. Purge, maybe. American Pickle, I'm never watching again. Wonder Woman 84, I'm never watching
Right.
again.
And then
Borat, I'll
Justice
probably never
League
watch it again.
2017, if you
Yeah.
had that, yeah.
yeah, I just think high tension is the one that throws it for me too. That one always throws me off.
That's the only one I would probably
Yeah.
watch out of those bottom 6 movies.
I think maybe I'll put this at I think I'd put this at 36. I think I'd put it right under Wonder
Right
Woman
underneath
84.
84.
Yeah. I think 84. I actually think that movie's a little bit more fun for me.
can
It's
see that.
it's colorful. It's Pedro Pascal's actually having a good time.
Mhm.
Wonder Woman has stuff to do. I just I don't know. Yeah, I just have them right next to each other. Maybe you could convince me to flip flop those two and have it above there, and have that at 35. But either one of those two, 35 or 36 for me for this guy.
Yeah.
Put it wherever you want. I
And
think
Adam, you were at
Zack
what?
Snyder's probably going to win based off
I was
the
at
IMDb.
Okay.
You
So
were,
yeah,
You were 38, Adam. So you were
30.
That's before Project Power, right?
Yeah,
This movie's better than Project Power.
Oh, for
Yes,
sure.
I would agree. Yeah.
For sure.
But
So the middle ground would be what, 37?
I mean, the middle ground is probably technically where Nathaniel
Yeah,
is.
because you and I are both up higher.
Yeah, me and you are 34. Nathaniel's 36.
Yes, it is. So 36 is the middle ground, which I'm fine with.
Well, so now we got to put it up against.
I'm fine with 36 if we don't want to tie
way?
break it.
I think it's better than Boondock Saints. If you want to put it at 35 and put Wonder Woman below 84 below this, I'm okay with that.
All right, let's check IMDb
Snyder Cut's an 8.4.
Oh yeah, I'm not even gonna check then. Put it there.
No, it's gonna be Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman's got to be a 6 point something. Wonder Woman 1984 is a 5.4. What was American Pickle?
5.7.
You know what I mean? That's tough.
That's hilarious. All right, well then I guess Zack Snyder's Justice League is slotted in at 35 on the Entropy list, coming in below Borat's subsequent movie film and above Wonder Woman 1984.
You're welcome, Ryan and Trevor and Rob. I will defend this DC movie this one time, and you're welcome.
What was the general consensus on their end?
They liked it.
Yeah.
The boys liked it.
Yeah.
So
2 of my friends didn't really care for it at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I go so back and forth in this movie. I have thought about this movie more than I ever thought I was going to, and that bothers me. Yeah. But I'm ready for the next one. What's coming up next, Adam?
Next week we have another CGI fest, boys. It's gonna be Godzilla, the King of Monsters.
I'm excited for this. I have not seen this since theaters. This is one of Blake's big movies from last year. Was it 2 years ago?
2019.
2019? Jeez.
yeah.
Got all the yeah, I guess it was, wasn't it? Obviously, because 2020 just didn't happen.
I haven't seen it yet, but I wanted to see it when it came out, and so I'm excited to give it a watch. I'm gonna have to jack up the bass and my soundbar and
turn up the bass.
Oh yeah, man. You're
maybe I'll
just
stand closer to my television to give that
D.
big screen effect.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, you'll get a kick out of Adam. I mean, you're just gonna watch large monsters.
Honestly, if you're watching it alone, wear headphones.
Interesting. I'm not opposed. I just don't know if I'll be watching it alone.
I'm sold for that. That's on my Vudu for you, Adam. I think you guys have a copy here, right?
Is it on HBO Max?
Yeah.
That's really cool. Oh, and it's on HBO Max too. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Lit.
Well, I'll check for the viewers because they obviously don't have access to your Vudu, unless you'd like to give them access.
No, thank you.
I
think it'll be all right.
The hundreds of listeners we have.
Thousands
it is on
even.
HBO Max, so viewers, you can go view it there for sort of free. I won't say it's free. You have to pay for HBO Max, but you know what I mean.
True.
Right, Ty?
And then after that, we're doing it's Godzilla vs Kong, right?
Yeah, it's
right.
yeah. So it's gonna be King of Monsters, and
into
that
that.
transitions the next week to Zilla versus Kong.
Hoping to see that in theaters.
Yeah, me too. I think I should be able to find a showing somewhere around town. So, all right. 5-star review, Nathaniel.
Not this week, but if you give us one, I'll read it about it, or
I'll read about it.
or you'll read about it, or maybe Blake will.
Maybe Adam will.
Who knows? But give us one, and we'll read about it.
We do have an email from he claims to be the #1 fan, Ryan Foley.
Ooh. Well then,
Hey, guy.
howdy.
He said,
read it off.
"Hello, Back Row Banter. Your #1 fan, Ryan Foley,
Hello.
is back and has some things to say. Adam, Blake, and Tyler, isn't Letterboxd great? Don't you love how you can log films, review films, and see what other people have been watching? Don't you love how you can follow people, Adam, Blake, and Tyler, that are your friends or are #1 fans of the podcast? I started my Letterboxd account because of you guys and love being an active member on it. I don't love that out of the 4 hosts of this podcast, only one of you is an active member and follows me back. I can let you guys guess who that one person is. ...
Justin.
Past Ryan is writing this after having watched Snyder's Justice League, logged and reviewed on Letterboxd, by the way, and I'm hoping you all enjoyed it as much as I did, or at least just enjoyed it. Love you guys, and thanks for making great content for a nerd like me. Follow me back on Letterboxd, please. Thanks. The Ryan Foley.
Oh wow, we may be getting some emails and letters next week compared to our thrashing we've just given Snyder Cut.
Ryan, if you'd like to write in and give us your review of Snyder Cut, I'd be very interested to hear it. I followed you back, by the way, Ryan, after seeing this email.
I just followed you too, man. And I see you got Creep 2 under recent activity. I salute you, man.
I like Creep 2. I like Creep 1.
Yeah, I like them both.
Well, there you go.
Possessor, everyone.
Please share the podcast. Share with a friend, a family member.
If you're in some sort of combat league, if maybe you have a sense of justice and you and a couple friends get together and do some battle, let them know about it. You know, maybe they'll enjoy our takes.
Yeah. Maybe your parents are brutally murdered.
Maybe you're moving in slow motion for some reason.
Yeah.
Randomly.
Maybe you live at the bottom of the sea.
Ooh.
Under the sea.
In which case, definitely tell us.
Yeah, please do.
Maybe you're a god of the digital age and you're listening to me right now because you can see me on my podcast as you watch the, I don't know, Cyborg. Something with Cyborg.
Go, Nathaniel. Go, Nathaniel.
I was going into like he goes. It's the plot of Ralph Breaks the Internet, but
great movie by the way.
I couldn't get all of that out there.
Oh man.
Yeah, there you go.
You can follow us on Twitter at Banter Row, on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod. On YouTube is just Back Row Banter. And then if you want to contact us for any questions, comments, concerns, grievances, or anything of the sort, you can do so at backrowbanterpod@gmail.com.
It's pronounced good mail.
Tyler.
Are we signing out right now? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, man.
All right, hey guys. Thanks for stopping by. We really appreciate it. Share the podcast with anybody you might see. We really appreciate the share, and we'd like to grow. We'd like to see where this thing goes. We're 42 episodes deep?
45.
45. Whoa,
44,
I've been asleep at the wheel. So yeah, we would really appreciate it. We've been trying to keep going through this thing, and we are going to keep going with it for the foreseeable future. So we would appreciate it. We want to see where it goes. You can find me on Twitch every now and then. We just streamed.
That's true.
2 dudes, 1 stream.
2 dudes,
That's
1 stream.
twitch.tv/El ELTRABAJO 87. And you can find me on Instagram, Letterboxd, and Twitter at Tyler Vidales, VIDALES. Nathaniel.
Yes.
Blake, where can people find you?
Letterboxd. So I'll be on there logging some stuff. Just logged a handful of things I saw this week. Just followed the other gentleman, Ryan Foley, back as well. So feel free and follow us on there. I might get to it late. That's crazy because I didn't even get any notifications that someone follows you on there.
You could be Letterboxd famous and never even know.
Yeah. Well, Letterboxd. BlakeHolder will be on there. Yeah, that's kind of the gist of that. Logging some stuff, and then maybe I'll get it back around to a review. Excuse me. That'll probably be on a horror movie I hold dearly.
Dude, you should watch Possessor.
I should finish that, man.
Yeah.
I should. I think I'm going to take you up on that. I took you up on Train to Busan last week. I think I'll take you up on Possessor this week.
I like it.
And then, we'll go to, have you?
I've not gone yet. I've been asked and I said yes. You can find me at Nathaniel Gingrich or at NS Gingrich on both Instagram and Twitter. Trying to do more with Back Row Instagram. Trying to be a little bit better with that.
I have noticed. I like it.
We should have some cool thumbnails this week. So if you ever want to, save those, show your friends, maybe something like that. Show everyone our cool artwork that Adam does, because they are a good job and they're pretty neat.
Thank you.
What else can you find me? Sandpiper tapes. You can keep an eye on our stuff soon.
New season?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping to be doing more stuff. Maybe starting some of my own Twitch stuff. We'll see. But things are changing.
Cool.
But yeah, come find me some other time. Come hang out.
Changing.
That too, Adam.
Watchmen.
Where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter at H24, on Letterboxd at H, and on Twitch whenever I get back to streaming. It's twitch.tv/H. And that's AYYSH for those of you out there. Thank you guys for joining us for episode 44. I saw recently on Twitter there was some clip that was kind of going around. It was about a college basketball player, and it was like one of those things where it's like why he wears the number he wears. And he's wearing number 44 because he loves the Wendy's 4 for $4 deal.
Oh.
Hey man, I like it.
I like that guy already.
Yeah, I can't be mad. That's a better reason than most people.
I always just get a
Baconator.
Baconator.
A great deal. No, you're insane, dude.
Yeah.
I had one of these the other night. It's fantastic.
Nah,
It's the most passionate I've ever seen Blake about anything.
I can't get anything other than a Baconator.
Really?
Yeah, it's got to be a Baconator.
Dude,
yeah, I
you'll
don't give
get
a
the
shit.
burger, whatever you can get a burger or chicken
The
sandwich.
chicken sandwich is the one I've done before.
I think you can even get a wrap
Baconator, bro.
as well.
Do you know there's
Nuggets and a
do
fry.
you know there's a breakfast Baconator,
I have not had that.
bro?
Is it good?
Yeah,
All right, we
Have
got
you guys
Taco
had the
Bell.
pub burger yet?
nah.
We got
It's
Taco
like
Bell.
Baconator on a pretzel bun.
Where's the pub burger from? Is that from Wendy's?
From Wendy's, yeah. I got it the other night.
Blake's like, I'm considering this.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
great.
can tell you the
Really
last time I went to Wendy's and I did not get a 4 for 4.
Baconator.
Seriously, been years.
Fair enough. All right, get us out of here.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us for episode number 44. Join us next week when we review Godzilla, King of the Monsters. We'll be RB.
Hey, be excellent to each other, everyone. Just go out there, live your life. Don't get in the way of everyone else, and just be nice. Have some kindness, and we'll be RB.
Yeah, definitely. Just spread kindness and everything. Like I pretty much always say, you don't really know where people are in their journey or in their day, so it's always a good way to just kind of keep everybody happy. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. We'd like to grow, share us. We'd appreciate it, and yeah, we'll catch you next week. BRB.
Yeah, everybody, I'm kind of on the same tip as here. Spread positivity, spread love. We kind of see what's going on with the Asian community right now. Probably want to shed some light on that and try to help those people of that demographic. Because we should try to get rid of all the hate and racism and stuff we have. So that's kind of my 2 cents, and we'll be RB.
America. Ready for another lesson.
It's starting. It's starting recording. Oh man. So dude, yeah, I'm worried about your trip to Miami Beach. Apparently they're going through it down there.
Yeah.
Shit is
I'm not too worried
Right.
because we still have this entire week. It's next week. And most of the places that I've seen getting like kind of limitations on, it's not where I'm going. I've seen a lot of Miami being like super crowded and stuff.
Yeah. Where are you
We're
guys
going to-
staying?
We're going to Panama City Beach.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, I think you.
I thought you were going to Miami
yeah,
Beach.
I don't know why I thought so.
Nah.
Yeah, I
You'll
could
be
have
good.
sworn you said that.
Yeah. we're going to
Speaking of
Panama
which, I'm going to look
City.
at their Snapchat right now. 'Cause I bet there's some funny stuff happening.
Here you go, bro. Yeah, dude. They said the mayor closed the bridge down to Miami Beach
Right.
at 7 p.m. Locals get access and stuff. Yeah, they're fucking tripping. But that's usually any spring break.
Right.
Yeah. Just so happens that it's COVID season.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what makes it nuts.
Yo, a lot of people I know getting vaccinated here. How's vaccination going back home? I could probably, if I tried, get vaccinated sometime this week.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're
Yeah.
starting to roll it out for us next week, maybe.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think they broke it into sections 1A, B, C. I think they're near the end of phase 1B, and I think 1C is pretty much everybody else.
I'm never gonna get it.
Yeah, I know quite a few people that have it.
Oh, babe. Do you remember Josh Stoldor?
Yeah, I got a buddy of mine who got vaccinated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he works in the healthcare field. So
That makes sense.
Yeah, he have to do it, but that was maybe February or something.
Oh, so you got it early.
Yeah, really early, yeah.
Tyler, come over and get on. They're ordering food.
They're ordering food.
Jazz.
Jizz.
Let's have a fun topic that we can talk about in pre-show.
What would you like to talk about, Nathaniel?
I don't know.
I got a black eye.
What'd you do? Punch someone? Get punched?
Nah, I was playing basketball yesterday, and I was guarding my buddy who's like 5'7".
Shorter than you.
Yes. So he drove to the basket, got by me a little bit. I jumped to block him, and as I jumped, he went up for the shot and just basically just shoved his jump shot right into my face and hit me square in the eye.
Yeah,
so you can't. It's hard to see with these glasses on, but
Adam, are you naturally athletic?
Yeah, I would say so. I would consider myself pretty athletic.
Fair enough. Do you make it look smooth, or do you just have to work really hard at it? Because I had to work really hard at athletics. I'm not a graceful person.
I'm no LeBron James, you know. I'm not a D1 athlete right now in college, but give me a sport,
tennis,
I'll
though,
be
in high school,
usually
right?
pretty decent at it.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah. So
Did you varsity in tennis? Right?
Yeah, 4 years.
well,
All 4 years. Yeah. So yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
definitely mobile.
Oh yeah.
Time to go mobile. That's what I think.
Is that Bane?
Yeah.
That's
Anytime I see the word
thought
mobile, like for whatever reason, that's just imprinted in my brain.
Well, when does he say that?
It's when they're robbing the stock exchange, and they're like they're completing the
I know
program. He's like,
exactly what
time
you're
to go
talking
mobile.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I feel like it's like one of the demos at work too, or something like that. So it's just always playing at some point.
And he's got some good one-liners in there.
Do you ever have any of those like words or something that like just like triggers like an instinctive like memory? Mine's are always like movie scenes or something like that, but they're always like random clips.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm sure I have those for
They're just
film and for,
like
music.
when someone says something and it just activates like a line in your head.
Yeah.
Almost all of Good Kid, Mad City, and like and To Pimp a Butterfly, like the little interludes.
Okay,
like
sure,
when the
sure.
little
Yeah,
talks,
yeah.
like all of those we used to just like shout at each other.
Yeah, no, definitely. Speaking of that, man, it'd be nice to get some new Kendrick Lamar music.
I would
It's been a
die for some new
long,
Kendrick. Yeah.
Everyone was
long
expecting it
time.
last year, and I think it might be this year.
Man, I'm like so out of rap nowadays, which is a shame because I've been liking a lot of the new stuff. I just like I haven't had anyone that I just like dove into like Kendrick.
Yeah, I mean, TDE though. Like, I don't even know the last person who's released on TDE though. It might be. Actually,
are you a big
I think they
Drake
did
fan,
that Black Panther
Nathaniel?
soundtrack. It's
Yeah,
TDE.
yeah.
That
yeah.
might be the last.
Yeah, maybe
album
SZA
any
had
of
a
them.
SZA had a
Maybe
project.
SZA,
Yeah.
That's probably 2019.
I'm not a big I'm not a big Drake guy. I like Drake in like a listening way, but he's never someone that I'm like, oh, I'm in a mood or something. I need to throw on Drake.
You don't delve into Drake, and you don't necessarily go out of your way to listen to him.
Not necessarily, but like I mean, I respect the
feel
shit out of him. That dude
Yeah.
just doesn't miss, and like all of his songs are pretty easy listening. And even a few of them, I'm like, yeah, this is a great song, but like he's just not my kind of stuff. I've been after Kendrick, I kind of got. What else did I do? I've like recently went really back into Kanye a lot, and then yeah, I did a bit. I was big into Run the Jewels for a little bit too. After Kendrick as well, but
What's your favorite Kanye album?
I really like Yeezus,
Oh, okay.
but a Life of
Surprising. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, but Life of Pablo is also getting up there too, and I hated Life of Pablo when it first came out,
Yeah.
but
I think a lot of people did. Isn't that the general consensus? Or at least it wasn't.
yeah, I don't know.
I think Yeezus might have been more.
Yeezus was more
than that.
controversial,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure. No, but yeah, Yeezus is another one of those ones that was just like so, just like iconic in a moment in my life.
Yeah. And that's what, like 2012,
2013. Yeah, I want to say. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like what I was listening to. Yeah, because it was kind of after To Pimp a Butterfly. I went to England, and then I got like really into like the it was like punk rock over there for a bit, and so then I haven't really gotten back into rap again after.
And that's what 20.
That was 20
to England.
2016, 2017 was 2015 for
Yeah.
To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yo, what up, Adam?
What up, dude?
How you been?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I've been good.
Chance too.
Okay.
I had a big Chance phase as well.
Really? I never.
Ooh,
listened.
I still like Chance. He has a new single that's actually pretty good.
Acid rap was like my shit. And
Okay, I lied. I liked acid rap.
Yeah, I really liked acid rap. I listened to Coloring Book like a couple times, and then his newest one I listened to like once.
For sure, yeah. I was like,
His newest one
on the same
is not
Yes.
that bad, actually.
But like when it was like him and Childish, particularly during
sure.
that acid rap, and Vic Mensa was also like
Yep.
at that time I was into all of that kind of stuff. And
Tyler,
then, like,
Childish
Creator.
Gambino,
Tyler
man.
Creator, yeah,
Tyler
the
Creator
whole
was looking dope, man.
the whole Odd Future
Yonkers,
crew.
bro.
Yeah.
I went
Yo,
through a
I was losing my
huge,
mind.
Tyler Creator phase, probably like 2011 when he first
Yeah.
went out. And he still makes good music now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest with
I
you.
really liked him.
He's a wild
Flower
mind.
Boy's good.
Yeah, I like his career progression for sure.
Yeah,
Or,
no,
like
I-
Earl Sweatshirt too, all of
Yeah.
that. Frank Ocean was like that. He's like the one where like anytime.
Frank Ocean, I still listen to consistently.
Yeah, anytime Frank comes out with something,
Yeah.
it's like okay,
That's
well,
like once in a blue moon.
Well, he
You have
hasn't
to
in
listen.
But he's
fucking
like-
forever.
Channel Orange and Blonde both are just
Yeah.
like those like seminal
For sure.
records for me nowadays.
When's the
Seminal?
last time? When's the last time Frank Ocean released a song? 'Cause
He
it's
had
been
new music this
so
year
long.
actually.
Yeah, I think his last project though was Blonde, which is like 2017
Right.
or something like that.
I had a really big Vin Diesel phase.
Yeah, man, I'm real into Vin.
I'm
Is he
still
gonna
in
make
my
an
Vin
album,
Diesel
or is he
phase.
just gonna just ride the single?
I have no idea, dude. He had another song and it's not good. It's not.
It's not good.
Did he produce
Yeah, I
that song
listened
as
to
well?
it.
Is he the producer?
Probably.
and
I
engineer
can only
and everything?
imagine.
I would think so.
I would imagine he has some sort of credit on there.
Yeah.
I listened to the Your Name soundtrack at one point over the weekend.
Blue Radwimps.
Yeah.
Radwimps are great.
Is that a?
They're a
Japanese.
they're just like a Japanese alternative band. They're almost like a maybe like a Death Cab for Cutie or like a Fallout Boy over there
Okay,
kind of
familiar
thing,
with
like
Fall
that
Out Boy.
kind of
Yeah,
level, where it's like that kind of emo punk alternative,
Sure.
pop punk kind of
Yeah.
phase. But yeah, they're really big, and that album or the soundtrack is one of their albums basically.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
Yeah,
that,
so
and it is a pretty good soundtrack.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I thought it was dope.
I think you're dope.
It's very good.
Thanks, man. Hey,
Yeah, no
there's
problem.
everyone on the screen besides Blake.
Hey,
What up?
visual cues, aren't they nice?
Sure. Sometimes.
Only the listeners got them every once in a while.
Yo, check this out. I went all out today.
Oh yeah,
What did we buy?
I can't see.
Is that Magic the Gathering?
I can't see either.
Oh no, it's Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
It's the new sets that
Pokemon?
came out. Yeah, it's the Elite Trainer box.
You gonna stream them?
Aren't Pokemon cards like $1 million a pop right now?
Yo, they're coming back.
Yeah, they're getting big.
Yeah, with a vengeance.
Got another one.
Nice.
And then
You're gonna do some Shreem box openings?
there's 2 booster packs. I guess these were going way faster than the box sets were, so I had to cop these.
People just ain't balling out for those boxes, huh?
Dude, they were $40 each.
That's crazy.
Well, that's what they retail at. I won't pay retail. And then I actually got one of the boxes for one of my buddies.
You don't have buddies.
Brett.
That makes sense.
We are your friends. We are your buddies.
It's true.
You're not my buddy, guy.
I'm not your guy, friend.